Hello, hello, hello. Greetings, everyone. Greetings. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I hope you've had a great week. I sure have. I hope that you guys have you're wrapping your weekend. You're finally warming into the weekend. How's your Friday evening going so far? Eh? I hope you're having a chilled Friday. It's cold over here. It's really getting cold, my people. I don't know about you. Wherever you are, let me know how the weather is over where you are. It's getting chilly over here. I cannot believe it, but it is. It is. It is. And how on that day? Happy weekend. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Thank you all for joining me once again. Thank you to all my wonderful returning subscribers. Yeah, 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 yeah. To say I get champagne now, I go the pop and phone now. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you guys for your support. I do not take it for granted. To all my new subscribers, thank you guys. I appreciate your support. I appreciate all the kind comments. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. So today, hopefully, this one will not be a long one. I don't intend for it to be a long one. Anyway, so there are few matters to address. The first one on the very top, hmm, my people, my people. See, Nigerian men, no offense, so there's a lot of work for you people to do. I want to report your fellow brothers to you. I happen to be on a live. I think it was yesterday or so. Yeah, I think it was yesterday. And there was a video, and I'm sure some of you must have seen it, a video of a policewoman that was um kind of laid hands on by her oga. Yeah, Neka, welcome, my darling. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How now? How you dey, sisterly? How you dey, my village sister? How your side now? How your neck of the woods? I hope you're good. I hope all the kids are well and hubby is good as well. I hope it's not too cold over there. Eh? So anyway, as I was saying, so this no, the first sorry, let me backtrack. So the first video was about a family, right? The daughters were accusing their father in presence of their mother, mm, eh, of cheating. That video made me very awkward. I don't know about you guys. I was so uncomfortable. I could not believe that that was happening. Not that I condone the fact that the dad cheated and stuff like that. I mean, did you guys see that video? I really want us to talk about that. That's the first one. Then the second one is there's a man, a policewoman apparently, that was laid hands on by her oga at work, policewoman. Oh, policewoman. Oh, according to her story, she say, I will say it in pidgin because of her algorithm. Make dem no go, kick against this video. The woman, she said that the man, right, was telling her that he should come. He say make he come, make they use body touch body. Hmm? Then she come tell the man say him dey married, he no dey do those kind things. And the man lay hands on her. Not only did he lay hands on her, do the bish bish, right? Come out, tell am say him go end am and whatever, whatever. The woman say the man, he, after laying hands on her, come bruise am and all of that. So this woman came out and somebody was doing the video and asking her questions, and she was narrating what happened. Hmm. My people, come and see the take of the men. No, most of the men blame the woman, blame the woman by saying that why did some of these women, why don't they quickly say on time that they are married? That then the other ones, one person said that the women are the ones that are supposed to rise up for themselves, that women are very jealous of themselves, that he does not understand where the jealousy is coming from, where the hatred is coming from, whether they've seen each other before. He does not understand that women are the ones that need to fight for themselves, that the husband does not need to get involved. It doesn't involve the husband, because people were like, where was her husband? Why is he not standing? Other people were like, well, maybe he couldn't come out because he's afraid for his life, and we don't know what the situation at home is, blah, blah, blah. And the men come out to the come talk say women need to stand up for themselves. And besides, now woman problem, no be man problem. Biko, my people, make we talk this matter. I dey wait. Anybody when want call in? Happy weekend, Rose Flower. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Make una use the link, take enter, dissect this matter. My people, things are happening. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Things are happening. I mean, when I was on that live, and I was listening to people's take, different take that they were having. I'm not going to lie to you. I was concerned, heavily concerned. Women, Umbel, there's fire on the mountain. So my question is this: is it truly up to the women? To deliver themselves from the quagmire that they found themselves in? Is it really up to the women to do all the work? To say, men, please don't do this to us again? I want to know. You people should let me know what you think. I'm waiting for this. I have never heard this type of thing before. I'm not going to lie to you. I have never ever. I mean, it was quite interesting insights. Welcome, Gina. Welcome, OJ. So good to see you guys. I am so happy to see you guys. Thank you so much. I hope you're having a wonderful Friday. Wonderful start to your weekend. I hope your week was too hectic and you have the opportunity to relax. So, yeah, I want to know what you guys think about these issues, because I think as men, personally, I don't think that the men should remove themselves from that situation. I think that it's also important for them to get involved. Women get a lot of backlash, especially where we come from. There's a lot to be addressed. I think that moment, the men realize that, look, these are issues that are not just they're not just, it's not just about the women, it also has to do with us. Because here's the thing, I understand that the what's it called, the women leader, the Nigerian women leader, we all know they talk for anything. They never say anything, right? They're very, very quiet. Wow, OJ, it's 12 degrees in UK. Wow, my goodness, are you kidding me? Hey, I know you are wrapped up in a bundle right now like a burrito. Am I lying? That is cold. Jeez Louise, that is cold. My God. Whoa. Oh, you were on that live, highly favored. You just couldn't comment because you were at work. Mr. Alex had a point that many women don't like themselves, but the men too should take. Exactly. So Mr. Alex's comments really, really rubbed me off the wrong way. I'm not going to lie. Yes, it is true that there's competition amongst the women, but just exonerating themselves completely without taking part and ensuring that these women don't get the type of abuse they get, I think that's where he lost me. Because if we're really looking forward to getting the type of society that we desire, it requires everybody. I get it that the men have to ensure, right? But I don't completely agree that you should put that all on the women. I don't. Because guess what? Why are women jealous of each other? Is it not still because of the same men? It's the men that cause it too now, right? Men will double date. They will marry multiple women. Why? So that they can fight amongst themselves to get attention. We're seeing it play out in real time, right? With our favorite Oba. Okay? We're seeing it play out. So they cause it and then they withdraw. You understand what I'm saying? Both genders can be blamed, though, but who is the reason why women they jealous each other? Is it not the men that they are sharing that makes them go at each other's throat? And say the men they use them too against the women so that they go they fight. So I really don't I didn't I wasn't very happy with his comments. I'm not gonna lie, I was not at all because I feel like it's like you're leaving it all, right? um, you're leaving it all for the women to take care of. I know, right? Not too bad, OJ. Okay, the weather is not too bad here compared to Canada. Okay, I don't know how cold it is in Canada right now. Yeah, I can. Highly favored says patriarchy causes it. Yeah, exactly. Patriarchy causes it. So it's a society made up of men where you have to please the men, right? So in that kind of situation, that kind of thing happens to this woman. Why are people not coming? Why are people not coming to her aid? What about the society? I get it too. Everybody is afraid for their life in Nigeria and all of that. But where are the women leaders? Is this not where women leaders are needed? And where is the mother of the state? And even the governor, that's an officer of the state, right? Why should they allow her to be victimized on that level? It's hard. It's too hard on women. Yeah, I feel you're absolutely correct. It's too hard on women. Honestly, I feel like crying today with the comments that I got. I feel like crying, like, my God, where's the hope for women? Where's the hope for women? In the way he said it, there was no emotion. There was like an emotional disconnect there. So it begs the question: how are these men, women marrying these men? No, I don't understand. How are they marrying these men? They are so emotionally disconnected from them. Wife is going through that kind of thing. You can't even. You're so detached from it. You're like, oh, that's a headache. I don't want to get involved because I'm also trying to protect myself. I mean, come on. It's really about, you know, growing up. I mean, have kids, parents have, children have parents who fought for their families, but literally deleted for their families. I'm not saying anybody should delete themselves, so, but it's almost like a selfish, everybody's like, everybody to himself, after all, understand what you're going through. So, hey, deal with it. Should that be the attitude that's accepted? That kind of attitude be accepted, you know? Too much open disrespect. Exactly, OJ. Too much open disrespect. Too much open disrespect. I tell you, it really is sad, though. I'm not going to lie. It's very, very sad. It's really, really sad that this kind of thing is happening. And, you know, there's no succor you know, succor from anyone. It's very sad. How do people how do you have a healthy family? We're talking about families and creating healthy societies and communities. How do you have a healthy family with that type of mentality? How do you have a healthy family when you're so far removed, you're detached from emotionally? How did you get together in the first? How? No emotions at all. One problem, go and deal with it. After being brutalized, as someone who's outside, and she clearly told the man that she was married. but the oga just refused to listen to her. Hmm. There's problem. Oh. Me, I don't understand it. Oh. There's problem. I mean, I'm going to just say that for free. There's problem. You know, I would expect that as the wife, since the wife is going through that level of, you know, emotional abuse by another man from outside, hide, comes to talk to your wife like that. What if that person, let's forget saying our wife, what if now your pikin? Is this how you're going to respond? If anybody wants to contribute, so please, anyone can come in. Let's address this because this is the real problem that I see. Oh, the real problem. Ah, where you're supposed to care for each other and be there for each other, and somebody just dismisses your concern like that. Problematic for me. Oh, that is really problematic for me. I'm sorry. I mean, it's hard to swallow. It's really hard to swallow, especially the fact that we're even fighting to save our society right now with all the drama that is going. There's a lot of work to still be done. The mentality no be here. I mean, the way response that came from that, I was worried. I was really worried. Like, how do women get married men who don't really care about them, who are not emotionally vested in them? How are they doing it? How are they doing it? Because me, I don't understand that. How they take the do am, you know? It's very rampant. Exactly. Very hardly. I've never met. I can tell you for free. I have never met any woman from Nigeria that has not been um one way or the other. Eh? Insulted in any or treated like that. I never meet to Nigerian woman when they never do like that before. I never meet. Eh? It's disturbing, no. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know as we want take address this matter. Honestly, I don't know. I really don't know. Hmm. Just hearing the different takes of how they feel about it is um is worrying to me. It's really worrying. It really is. The women marry this kind of men because if they don't, society will stigmatize them. I mean, what can they do? Ah, abeg, is it not better to just remain by yourself? Because this level of abuse, I, I don't know how it feels when something happens to you and your loved something that traumatic happens to you and your loved one is not sticking up to you. I don't know how to describe that. I don't know how it feels. You're going through that kind of pain and your loved one cannot pick up for you. I don't know how people do it though. I no go lie to you. I don't know how. Hey, Mirabelle, welcome. Welcome, welcome, darling. Happy weekend to you. Happy Friday. In Nigeria. Exactly. No, but if a lot more people stick together, highly favored, what I think, if a lot more, because even with the all the pressure and all that, there are people who are staying by themselves and are very successful and are doing well. Even the ones that are not so doing well, they're staying by themselves. Some of them, maybe something happened, they lost their husbands or whatever. They're staying by themselves, though. So it takes a group of people to resist for it to say, okay, you know what? There are people who are living in with all the toxicity that are living by themselves and they are thriving. Nothing they do them. Nothing they do them. The bigotry, I understand exactly. It's really, really is real. I understand the bigotry, but it's also going to require those same people to break it. Because there are people, whether we like it or not, the truth is that there are people who are living by themselves anyway. Even those that claim to be married, some of them are living, but they're married, but they're living like single people. I mean, you go through that kind of traumatic thing and your partner is not there with you. Okay, fine, maybe he's trying to protect himself, but he's not calling for help, you know. Um, you know, alarming some charity, some human rights organization or something really know the nitty gritty of the situation of this man, but this is just my thoughts. You understand? Yeah, you know? Yeah, I did. Oh, I did. You know? Yeah. I beg somebody should help me tell Mirabel what we are talking about. This matter tire me, I no go lie. Oh. There are people living by themselves in Nigeria and they are not they not get two heads. They are living in a situation and not they are thriving. Even in that toxic situation, they're still thriving. Whether you like it or not, it's not something that you can. At the end of the day, people are going to end up being one by themselves. Either old age comes, one person leaves, or situation of life happens. Somebody decides they don't want to be with each other anymore. The love isn't there anymore. They find their way, right? So people will end up being by themselves anyway at some point in their lives. So it's something that the society, if enough people are saying, I beg, I don't have time for that, people will stand. And I think it's happening, but it's just not happening in the way that, we see it here, for instance, where you can live your life, have dreams and all of that without people, strangers walking up to you on the street and saying, sis, how far now? Waiting to happen, you know? It's very sad though. I no go lie. That's man. And then, so Mirabel, let me just quickly give you the gist. So there's a video of this man. I'm sure you've seen it, where his kids gathered. I think the dad had cheated on the mom and talking down at the dad in front of the mom, right? And it was circulating the whole time. People had their own thoughts about that. Personally, I was uncomfortable watching it because I did not like the way the man was being down, brought down like that. I just didn't like it. I felt like they could have handled it and then video him. Come on, that's a bit too much. I'm sorry. I can wrap my mind around. I understand they're all hurting. I understand. I don't condone and cheating on his wife, whatever. Apparently, the story is that he's cheated multiple times and from Uganda and all of that, and he's continued it even while they're outside of the country. I don't know the details, but to me, watching it, it was very uncomfortable. There was a lot of problem there for me. I mean, if it was outside of the camera and the family was having a meltdown as a family based on this situation, then it's different. I announce it. Why bring it online? That thing is going to be online forever. And I felt like the woman. I understand that. Eneka, do you want to be on camera? You look beautiful, oh, and bring your camera. No, Mercy, see freshness. Neka, I must see your face today. See your fresh. I can't hear you. You're on mute.
Which freshness? Oh, no freshness here. I'm
Hey,
trying to be
Neka, now
like
your
you.
face be this. Oh
I'm
my
trying to be
God.
like you.
My people, look at our sister Neka.
I said
Freshness.
I'll show my face to Omoye today.
Oh my God. You're
So when you see
beautiful,
me
my
on the
sister.
street, thank you, thank you.
Omoto
So are
Sean.
you? Now I'm gonna get off camera now
No,
that you
okay,
see
okay, I'm gonna
me.
stop. Hey,
It's
Cynthia,
okay.
welcome. Good to see you here. Yeah, so
Now
you were
that you've
saying,
seen me, so
yes.
next time when you see me on the street, you know me.
I'll recognize you. I'll say, that's Neka. That's my village sister. I'll be shouting.
I'll be a good to see you today. Thanks. I knew you were gonna do this today. I said, okay, let me. Well, I was looking at this. I was rushing home too because I went to go pick up food for the kids. It's Friday.
Right.
I said, okay, I'm watching. Where's Omoye? Where is she?
I
I'll
know.
be
Yeah. Mm.
okay. I'll go away now. So anyway,
Uh-huh.
so we're talking about the first thing you mentioned is the police issue, the policewoman.
Yes. The one that they touched in Nigeria.
That would not be my story if I was that woman.
Hmm.
Even if that might eventually buy me, my story will be she fought till the end. Uh-uh. Why would you? She says she's married. What's the problem? Is she the only woman in the world?
I don't know. You know how Nigeria is Neka. I bet you don't forget to. You know, some very stiff-necked people in that country that don't care. They
I
don't
mean
care.
I know, but she was in uniform
Yeah,
and you did that to her. She had marks all over her. Did you see that?
yeah, he put hands on her. He even stripped her naked, by the way, people. She
Yes, yes,
she
I heard
stripped
that.
her naked. He stripped her naked, my people. Mukuna de yell. He stripped her naked and she was man, this woman was so much in so much trauma. You could see the trauma on her as she was saying it. Eh?
That is just so sad. And okay, while he was doing all that, who intervened? Why was he able to put all those marks on her?
My sister, I don't know. So he got her and then he was forcing her in the process and then he now put a push on her, you
Hey,
know, push and say I will just delete you here. Hey,
you
oh
see,
my God. I'm
mindset.
like, this is why I said, why did the husband, fine, you don't have power, fine, you're afraid for your life. Why don't you go and search for help? You
Uh,
understand? For the wife, because the man was not there. I don't know the details. People say, okay, we don't know the details. We don't
yeah,
know the situation is at home. I understand it, right? I understand it. But it seemed like that woman was just fighting all on her own. She was
yes.
just fighting only on her own. That's what is paining me. Nobody was around her. You didn't see any other officers around
That's
her.
what I'm saying. That so how was he able? Why? How was that whole thing? How
Maybe
did
they
he
were
get
in
to that?
the office alone. Maybe he called her in while he was there alone, right? And there was,
Hey,
it
Father.
got to a point where, yeah, maybe. Now you're gone now.
Hmm. Yeah, people are wicked. I don't know how you can be so wicked and be even forget the wickedness. I mean, how can you do that to someone else's wife? She said she's married. She no do not by force.
The man say na by force. So he tell and say, I am married. The man no gree. Oh. The man see they touch the woman. You know, the thing just I could say go. The thing pain me. So
I
for
can't
the
even
last,
believe they still do
yeah,
that.
they still do. It's even worse now. Imagine, Neka, it's worse now. There was a platform I was on, and the men were sharing their opinion. This is what got to
Mm.
me. This is what really triggered me, right? So some men came in and they were like, the woman, one guy called in and said, well, this is what he has to say is that, women should be more outright about their marital status, make it known. I'm like, the woman said she was married. What part of that did you not hear? That one said that
Oh,
one. Then another person came in and said,
exactly.
yeah, oh, think bon kankan. Another person now called in and said, well, that women don't like each other. From time immemorial, women are always fighting with each other. There's always jealousy and hatred. Women don't like women in positions of power. They're always dragging each other. So it's a woman problem until the women get together and learn to love themselves. To a large extent, I agree with with him on that. But my question is,
What has
what who
that got
is
to do with what's going on now?
exactly, and who is causing the jealousy and the women bickering amongst themselves? Is it not the man? We live in a patriarchal, whatever. Not gonna take the grammar like
That
that.
word.
Society, right?
Mm,
Where the men, they are the ones set the rules and all of that, right?
yes.
So the jealousy and the envy between women, it is the men that cause it, because the man go they date A, date B, date C, then he go turn go turn A against B, turn B
Yes.
against C, so that they don't go ever agree with each other. So guess what? That's why the woman will see her husband with another woman. Instead of her to address her husband, she'll, guess what, go and fight with the woman. Because the
Mm-hmm.
man has told her, I don't know what was happening. I think she gave me something to eat. She's the one that confused me. You,
Mm-hmm.
so this
The
guy
si-
was so
the side the side chick will know all about the wife, but the wife will not know anything
exactly
about the
all
side
about the
chick.
one. Thank you. Now he now said that's why that until women learn to get together and fight their battle, that there's nothing involving the man there. The way he said it with such emotional disconnect, I
Mm,
began to worry that is it this if this man is married, is this how he
mm.
responds to his wife when she's in any type of crisis? Do you
Do you know
blame
if the
the
man
woman?
do you know if the man still lives in Nigeria?
I think he still does. The person who called it, I believe he still does. Yeah, he lives in Nigeria.
Okay.
So
Well, it
imagine
doesn't even matter because there are some
exactly,
people here that still do the same thing and believe the same thing. So,
exactly. You understand? So it bothered me. I was like, no, the way this guy emotionally just disconnected from this conversation and just put everything on the woman, the woman. You see, we have a lot of work because we're hearing
hmm,
directly from the mindset of a man in Nigeria. I was the thing, but I was like,
that's so
whoa,
sad.
marry this one. So if something happens to me, I'm your wife. You can stand up for me. You can stand up
No,
for me and defend me and say, who taught you? Really? Let's go there. What?
no. When his wife gets home and tell him that kind of thing, he'll say, so you two, how were you behaving? Isn't that
Exactly.
what he will ask her? Because that's
Thank you.
exactly what he's saying.
Exactly. That's
But
exactly.
that woman self disappoints me. I will wear that man out with all the energy I have. I will wear him
The
out.
woman, according to her, she was ready when the man said he was going to carry the pian pian and take care of her. Really?
And
So
that's
other people came in and rushed her out and told her to run away because the man was going to beat. So it was other people that heard the tussling that rushed in
mhm.
and kind of pushed her out. She was ready to take the pian pian. She was ready.
Yeah.
How?
That was why I said if that was me, then he would have maybe he would have unalived me. But my story would be she fought till the end. I'm telling you. Because I will wear him out. I hate it when people take advantage. I don't like it because you think you're a man, you can do anything you want with a woman. I do not like it. I
Yes.
it takes
Yeah.
I will fight you with all the energy I have. You will not get away with it though. No, you will not.
Mhm.
Even if
Mirabel,
I don't
yes,
make
it
it
was
in
on
the end.
camera. It was caught on camera.
Mirabel,
It was caught.
thanks, my love.
Exactly. So she victim blaming. Exactly. This is the problem. This
Hmm.
is what I saw. They were putting on the blame was being dished out on the woman. But I left a comment. I left a long episode for him
I can
on the
imagine.
private chat. I was like, guy, I'm so disappointed that coming from you, if you're married, I wonder how you respond to your mother, to your wife's pain. I wonder how you respond to your child's pain. If your child
Exactly.
comes, I growing up as a kid, right? My dad had a pium pium in the house because he loved to hunt. So he had pium pium.
Mm-hmm.
He had the pium pium for hunting, and he had one for protection. That was the kind of man he was. So a lot of guys then were afraid to come to my house because they knew he had pium pium. You
Hmm.
understand? So
Yeah.
my dad was the kind of person, don't try him. His family is a no-go. He go fight you for the streets. He no care. That's the kind of father I had, right?
And that's
So
how it's supposed to be.
exactly. I remember when they said they had some armed robbers had come, raid one man's house there where we lived. That night, right? He
Yeah.
led the security for the men to protect the entire estate because of what we heard. He did not sleep. My dad had his pium
Hmm.
pium on both sides and was ready for action. The man did not sleep. He was patrolling
Wow.
around our house, patrolling with all pium pium like him. And I still remember till this very day. And that man was fearless. He was ready to go any time, any day for his family. He was ready.
Yeah.
So it bothers me now that we have men. I'm hearing this conversation from men who are blaming the women. Was blaming this woman the fact that she was traumatized by her oga at work, who is a man.
So the okay, I'm not sure why they blaming why they blaming her. Is it that she so the Oga knew that she's married. He
Because
just
she made
doesn't
him
care.
know. Exactly.
He just wanted what he wanted. So well, I'm not sure why they blaming her for what? For her uniform. Her uniform was too short or what?
Okay.
I'm trying to
So
figure it out.
Mirabel, the story is that it was on video. I think it's on social media somewhere. Now, this woman is a policewoman in Nigeria in uniform. She said her oga was hitting on her. For those of you who don't know the story, some of you may have
Mhm.
seen it circulating. Her oga was hitting on her. She told her oga, I am married. The man said, I beg you, doesn't matter. When she resisted, the man now started, like maybe trying to grab her, whatever. And now, after laying hands on her for refusing, laid hands on her, left her with bruises. The bruises are fresh on her body on the video, still very fresh. Cut his pium pium and threatened her with it and said he was going to delete her. Somebody was recording her. She was narrating what happened. It was fresh. It seems like it just happened. And this person got a hold of her and was videoing her to put it online so people can, maybe help her, whatever. So
Okay.
people were talking and giving their own take on what happened based on that video, right? And some of the men that were calling in were exonerating the husband. I was saying, where is her husband? She says she has husband. Why did she not have any help? Why was nobody around her? Where are her, fellow colleagues, men and women? You understand? If her husband is not able to maybe come by himself directly, because we know how dangerous it can be with all these armed people in Nigeria, right? With all these uniform people, go and get
Mhm.
help, right? You go and get help from other people. They will come, they will go there before you even get there. They're already there. So you will now come as the man of the house. Some of the men
Wait,
now say, well, why did the woman not announce that she was married early enough? That was one of the comments from the men. Who, the other
Egbam.
of the men now said that women are always jealous of each other. They don't like each other. That women are supposed to be the ones standing up for the woman. This has nothing to do with the man. They should remove the man. Hey, for me.
Orí nìkan ni, I don't even understand what they're trying to say. I think that person just wanted to say something because I'm not sure why what women supporting women has to do with this. And then maybe her husband at that time. I mean, by now we should be hearing from the husband, even if that video was immediately after that whole incident.
Look at Highly
You
Favored said the man is married, by the way. So the Oga of the police is also married. In the yes story.
Egbabio, I don't even understand that whole thing. At first, some people didn't think it was real, that video. Because
Hmm,
I mean, when you think about it, it's like for real. You did that to her because she said no.
exactly.
Some people are you sure this is real? I remember the first time I saw it, some comments were like, this is not real. Maybe she's, trying to, just be out there. Because it just doesn't seem like something.
It is real. It's not that it happened.
Yeah.
It's real, right?
Oh yeah. Oh
Cynthia,
yeah. They
the
figured it
story,
out that it was real. Oh yeah, it's
yeah,
real.
the story happened in Nigeria, yeah, with a uniformed officer who happened to be a female, you know. Because the so-called, no, that's the point now, Annie. Nothing has happened to the Oga. This woman had to do
Nothing
a live
nothing is going
video.
to happen to the
Eh?
Oga.
Meanwhile, we have women's leader. We have women, Ministry of Women Affairs. We have them in that society. Eh?
Mm.
This kind of thing happens to an officer, a uniform officer. Oh. So imagine another. So what hope ordinary person have? Because if an officer has to videotape her laying of hands so that people will come to her help, what hope does the ordinary person in that country have? Eh?
No hope. No hope for the person next door.
I'm telling
It's just
you,
really, really sad.
you
Um
understand? So when I saw that and I was like, this is it was disturbing for me because a lot of the men that were speaking, they sounded disconnected from their I don't know if they're married, but I would not imagine a woman being with a man like that who's so disconnected from the suffering, even if it's another woman, doesn't
Oh
have to be
my,
your wife.
nobody. These people are don't. You are giving them too much credit. They are not disconnected from anything. That's just how they are. That's how. That's what they learned when they, growing up, and it's still stuck with them, and they don't want to change. They don't want to evolve. They stuck in whatever years they were born. There is no changing for people like that. There is no, I don't know how what word to use. There's no changing for them. It's not that.
What I mean, Neka, is the emotional disconnection now. Because if you are not, if you're emotionally disconnected from your partner, you're not going to feel their pain. If they are telling you, come, oh, Neka, guess what happened to me today? Imagine what happened. Your reaction, because your emotion. This is a husband and wife. We're not talking about boyfriend and girlfriend. Oh. You will say,
Mhm.
who did that to you? Are you kidding? You understand what I'm saying? Someone, this man, there was evidence that an emotional disconnect if they are married, because they could not even for them they just totally exonerated the
That's
man.
what I'm saying. Was never connected to anybody, because I don't know, even if the person is not, um even if the person I don't even know how to explain it, but is just not, he's just trying to say, oh, it's a man's world. He doesn't have anything. That's you even talking about someone. If he got married, I mean, he married just for the heck of getting married. He didn't get married for love or whatever.
That's the point.
Somebody that talks like that, he didn't. He only got married because of getting married, because he wants. That's the next stage in his life.
That's exactly what it is, because I cannot imagine. It was disturbing for me, and I left him a long episode. I said, wow, hopefully I'm gonna have an opportunity to address him directly. I need to let him know what those. It doesn't matter if he understands it or not. Someday maybe he will,
Mm-hmm.
maybe he won't, but I don't care, because it's very important for when you say those kind of things out loud, right? As a
Yes.
man, there's a different, it's a different narrative you're creating for yourself. People will look at
Mm-hmm.
you and judge you based
Exactly.
on your mind, like, wow, this mindset is, because even in the private chat when we're talking, right, there
Mm-hmm.
were men there that were saying, oh man, you are right, this is why we have the problem we have in Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
Facts. This
Yeah.
is the problem. And I told them, I said, until your women are protected and secured, your women and children, I'm sorry, you will continue to struggle. It's not a cause,
It's
because
not.
you're putting the women's needs, concerns, issues is selfish on one side, and the children, you're
Yes.
not paying the needed attention to it. Look at the mess. Imagine in Lot, a woman to have give birth to children on a very hard surface. What
Mm-hmm.
kind of, what kind of mess is that?
I, d- I, I don't understand
And
it.
there's no outrage, there's nothing, okay, that aside, let's talk about this video. Cynthia was saying she's disowning those her people. I am disowning them, sorry, oh,
Cynthia
sorry,
doesn't.
oh.
She doesn't waste time. You know.
Sorry, oh, sorry,
She
oh.
doesn't.
It touch you too. It touch because Nigeria.
People. There is. It's one thing for a good, good leader to come in. It's another thing to change their mindset.
Mindset, that's where
It's
the real
scary.
work
It's
is,
very,
oh.
very scary for me. It's in
It
every
is.
area of life. Every area of life, the way we think about certain issues, and you'd be like, what, are we still here?
Exactly. You understand where I'm coming from. Like,
Oh
it
yes.
is is one thing to get it up, but the mindset is where the work really needs to go.
Mm-hmm.
Feeling. And I want to respond to Cynthia. Cynthia, there are great men in Nigeria, oh. Don't get me wrong, oh. There
Oh
are,
yes.
it's just the majority of the ones that we come across that you hear about that put themselves out there, they are something else. This is not the Nigeria me I grew up in. I can tell you that for free. Most of the men I
Yeah.
grew up with in Nigeria were very caring. When they see you as a young, they were very protective of the women. If they see you walking on the street, I'm sure Neka, you can testify to this. If they don't even need to know you, they'll protect you.
Oh yes.
They don't
This.
enter into school in Nigeria. I'm walking, maybe walking by like a lonely path, and there are some guys. They'll say, where are you going to? Sis, where you they go? Where you they come from? It's okay. Oh, this place not too good. Oh, make we follow you, waka. They will walk with. They don't know you. The
No.
protection and the care was there. This bond, this what is happening right now, I don't recognize it myself. It's strange to
No.
me.
Men my age and a bit older. I don't know. It's different from our fathers and grandfathers. They're very, very different.
Yeah,
Very different from them. They are they are something else.
exactly. You know. So coming to Cynthia, your people now. Let's go. So the video they put out, right? They were talking to their father. Apparently, one of them found a
Oh yeah.
message from one of the dad's mistresses or whatever, and started got upset, and they sat the dad down, put it on video, and were calling him out like he was doing it before they moved to America, whatever. It looks like they were in Uganda and they moved,
Mhm.
relocated to the States, right? And the mom
Mhm.
was sitting there. What I saw was a broken woman, because it looks like the
Yes.
man had been doing it prior to them moving to the States. So it looks like the woman had gotten to the point of, when when someone has been through constant emotional abuse, gets to a
Yeah, you
point
could
where,
see the way she was sitting down. Like
yes,
she just felt dejected. And
exactly,
it's she at that point it's like, I'm tired. I don't even know
yes,
what to say. That was what I saw. That it's like she just gave up and let the girls talk.
exactly. You
That's what she
understand?
did.
Exactly. I see. If that had happened within inside their house with their father and their mother, without us giving public view, That's their problem. We won't know
Yes.
about it, right? But
Mm-hmm.
having to put it on video or camera and put it online, well, you've
I
given
don't
people the
agree
right
with
to
that.
judge. I vehemently agree. No matter the offense of the man, and I'm not justifying his actions, right? I
Yeah.
vehemently disagree with the children confronting their father like that. It
That
is
whole
a
thing, no,
no, no, it's a mess. I cannot
no.
allow it. Never. There, it
Yeah,
will not
granted,
happen.
sorry to cut you off.
Sure.
I didn't mean to. Um, Granted, the man already disrespected himself. It's
Yes.
fine because they found a video of. I don't know why he made a video of him and the side chick doing what they're doing. I don't know if you know
Oh,
that.
I
Yes,
didn't know that.
there was a video they
Oh.
found, and then which included the messages back and forth. But there was a video that was found, and the girls found. I don't know if their mother found it and they said gave it to the girls or whatever. But there was a video of him and the side chick doing whatever. And that whole thing, I don't. You can confront your dad. You can talk to him, and you don't have to bring it online. I don't understand that whole thing. I'm not getting that whole thing. Why they had to put it online for everybody to see. At the end of
Exactly.
the day, if your mom says that she forgives him and they're going to stay together, then what are you going to do? And when do we start
Exactly.
putting everything online? Why do we put everything online? To your loan, why?
Oh, it tire me, my sister. Help me ask. I no understand. All this need, this itch.
Because
You
I
brush
don't know.
teeth. You won't
It's
put
at
them
the end
online.
of the day, it's gonna be you yourself. Are you going to be embarrassed? Those girls, I don't know why they did that.
Exactly. I have no idea. It was very discomfort. It was very disconcerting for me. It didn't
Yeah,
settle well with me at all. At all. I was like, I couldn't even watch it. I had to walk
no,
away because the
I,
disrespect was too much. I for
it
rush
was
person for
too
there
much. You don't talk to your parents like that. You can show your disgust, your disdain in so many
many ways.
ways, not in a way to you doing a video and then you put it online, and then one of them I think was quiet, and the other one just kept going and going.
Yeah.
It's no, I didn't
That's a
like that
no
whole
no.
thing.
I didn't like it at all. I did not. Granted, the woman is broken. That's a picture of a broken woman. And the
Yes.
man was wrong, but that does not give the children the right to call their parents. If they were going to do it, they see. You see on this one we they talk, so we would never have known about it. If it was
No.
outside of the purview of the world, the cameras were not there, nothing, and they did whatever they liked with their dad. You know, go
Mm-hmm.
know,
Yeah.
but they decided to do it, and so now they're now they open it up for public scrutiny.
Mm.
I hope that they enjoy what they're getting. Oh.
Their dad was just sitting there in shock.
Yeah.
Like he well, maybe the video, he didn't even know they were going to post it or whatever, but even at that show he was sitting there in shock.
Mm-mm,
Like,
mm-mm.
that's
Yeah.
just a broken home. You
Yes.
From top to bottom.
From top to, honestly, very, I don't know how they're going to come back
Mhm.
from that.
Mhm.
Tiki, welcome. Oh, welcome, Tiki. I don't know how they're going to come back from that. I'm sorry. I really don't know how they're going to come back from that. Highly favored. Thank you very much. Oh, yeah, you said you were listening, when I was giving my opinion, my sister. We continue. Aluta continue. We must fight. But the husband has already publicly disgraced his own wife now. Publicly, in what sense? Did he put her on camera and disgrace her? What do you mean publicly, Tiki Shark?
Who is the she said, but the
Tiki
husband has already
has this
publicly
publicly
disgraced his
disgraced his
own
own
wife.
wife. How?
Ha, is she talking? Maybe she's talking about the video that I was talking about.
Yeah, the video but that's between the man and his wife. Now, let me repeat this again. The children the mother, however they handle situations in their family, they could have resolved this without involving the cameras. They could have said whatever they wanted to say, maybe shout on the dad, whatever. We're not there. But guess what? They put it online. You cannot, I don't care how old you are, you don't have a, I will never support a child talking to their father or their mother like that. At the end of the day, it's between the man and his wife, not between the children. If you not choose to engage children, which I am not against, because everybody does their parenting differently and live their life differently. After all,
Mm-hmm.
what do I know? But don't put it in the public space. It's just that
No,
simple.
you cannot do that. There's a difference between, people knowing that, oh, this man cheats or whatever, and what we saw online. That's a whole that those are two different things.
Exactly. Tiki
Those are
Shark,
if I'm
I
if,
totally disagree with you. No, he did not deserve that. I don't care for that public shame. I'm sorry.
no,
That
that
is
public shame
wrong.
is different. Oh, Tiki Shack, please. That one is okay. Maybe Tiki Shack should explain the public shame. Maybe there's something we're missing.
No, I don't know. I think the pub let him to, because she said just imagine the gossips outside. So let the
Yeah,
woman,
I mean
let
that
the
one
wife
is
go and do public gossip outside for with the man too. It at the
exactly.
end of the day, it's between she and her husband. How they choose to deal with it is between them. Since they put it in the public space. Now, if they had done it without the cameras and the children yelled, we would not know all of this. Now, they now went and said they want to do Obasabi and now put it on inside public view. No child in my own world though has the right to speak to their parents like that. I don't care what's going on. I don't care. Not in public. You can go and do it. For instance, if I'm in my friend's house and you're talking to your husband anyhow, you can't try it in my presence. I'm sorry. I'm
No,
that kind of
I'm going
person.
to leave.
I
I'm
will
just going to
leave
leave.
and I
I'm
will,
not.
when I talk to you, stern warning. It will never happen. I don't care. There's a
Because
difference
that's
between you sorting something out in the confines of your home and then putting it outside. Why do I have to be embarrassed by the fact that you're upset with your husband or your children? It's the same thing here. They put it on camera. Talk. You know what it means? That they're just putting the man down. What? There's no good that can come from that.
there's no good that can. There's no look. There's no There might be no reconciliation between the mom and dad after this one, and I'm not saying they should. I'm just saying if there's supposed to be one, there's no coming back from this one. I mean, you already
Exactly.
put him online. If you want to forgive him, are you going to tell everybody, "Oh, I'm going to forgive him"? Oh, sorry. Oh, we put it online in the first place. Mm,
Exactly.
There are some things we have to be careful about. There's a way you
Yeah,
can speak to your parents. You don't put everything online. They are the children. They are the
exactly.
children.
At the end of the day, that's what they are.
Yes.
They are strangers to this union. They are. They're just
I could
strangers. I,
I couldn't finish watching it. It
I
was just
couldn't. It was
too
too
it
much,
was too
you
much. It
know?
was not nice.
Mhm.
It was
And
not
then
nice.
Fafsoli says, sounds cringy, but did they see it as, yeah, but even if you want to do justice for your mom, must you involve camera? You
There
can
are
do
ways we can
justice
do
for your
justice
mom.
for a
There
mom.
are ways you
Yes.
can do justice for your mom. You don't have to put it on camera for the entire world to be viewing how you're emasculating your dad. The children emasculating their dad in the public eye. Do you guys understand what that means? I don't know. I just don't. For me,
It's not
that's a
just for the
no, no.
Oh my, yeah, it's just not for the dad. Even the mom.
Hey,
Even the mom. That woman does not look like a woman that was ready to leave that whole situation. Did you see the way she was
exactly.
sitting? She couldn't even speak up loud.
Yes.
She was dejected. She was just like,
Yes.
you know,
She was withdrawn. She looked
she
very
was,
withdrawn in her, like you can
when
tell that she's going through a lot emotionally.
by the time the dust settles, those girls are not going to like what they did.
I'm telling you, they will
They're
not.
going to
They
be
will
disappointed
regret
in
it.
themselves.
Yeah.
It's not something, it's not, I don't think the man is very wrong. The man, that husband,
Yes.
that dad, very,
Very
very
wrong.
wrong.
He did wrong. He
But
shit for church plenty.
putting him out like that, not just him, your mother,
Yeah.
yourselves. There's a difference between me gisting you, oh my, yeah, oh my husband did this and that, and you seeing us online, watching our whole drama in our house online. Those are
Exactly.
two different things.
Totally different.
Those are
Completely
two.
different.
If you
You
want to
know?
call it everything disgrace, you see that second one, putting it online, that one won't be disgrace anymore. That one is something else.
Exactly. Cynthia said the dad was just drinking his tea. That's
Ah,
so Uganda.
he was drinking tea. They were spilling his tea. They were spilling his tea, so he better keep drinking.
Tiki says, I don't see anything necessarily wrong because he's created that publicly shame for himself. Let him take it like, no, I disagree. Mm-mm. No, 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 no. Tiki Shack, we ain't going to do that. Vehemently
If
disagree.
you if
Please
you
do
say
not do that to your husband. I know your husband will not cheat on you, but
if
Biko, don't allow your children do that to your
okay,
husband.
if you
May
say
God not
that
let it happen, and I know it's not going to happen, but please, I disagree. That's so wrong on so many levels. Sorry, Neka, go
yeah.
on.
No, I'm just saying if you say that he publicly disgraced, the wife, how though? How? Because is
Exactly.
it because of the video of the Kerewa video, or you saying that his actions is publicly disgracing the wife? When you say publicly, how many people even know this?
So she
How
said,
many
by
people?
going out to cheat and imagine the gossip. So
That's what I'm
between,
saying. How many
yeah,
people know that? How many people in their
exactly.
community knows that you don't even know where the other woman? Okay, let's say the other woman is around. Okay, fine. You still don't know. You cannot say how many people that know them, that knows that this is happening. So
Exactly.
that's just assumption that he publicly
Exactly.
disgraced her. That's assumption.
But guess who has publicly disgraced both of them? The children. Because guess
The
what?
children.
Everybody now knows that the man cheated on the wife multiple times prior when they were in Uganda and when they were in the US. That one, unko. That's more public disgrace right there. They've given the story visibility. People who do
Yeah,
not know, they will go and be digging now. That's it.
I'm
Guess what?
reading OJ's comments, and I
Uh-huh.
agree with you,
I
OJ.
agree with OJ completely. The daughters, what type of wives are exactly? What type of men would they marry? That video is going to be there forever. You don't know who's going to bump into that video. Okay, two wrongs can never make a right. Please, my people, let's not forget. We are
Me,
not saying we did Western world. Two wrongs do not make a right. I beg.
I
Ah,
will if I were those one of those girls. I'll just okay. If I don't talk to that my dad for a long time, let him go explain to people why I'm not talking to him now. Let him use his own mouth to go tell people why his daughter is not
exactly.
talking to him. There are so many ways you can deal. They could have dealt with that man.
Thank
There's
you. Cold
so many
shoulder.
ways.
Don't talk to him. Don't greet him. Don't even let him see you. If he greets you, don't answer. You go bone him for a
Yeah,
long time until he asks, oh, my daughter, you will not pour out your heart. There's so many ways. I beg, let's not encourage bad behavior in our children. I
yeah,
beg, Una. I beg. I beg. I'm not saying that Western world we did, but I beg. No, we not encourage bad behavior. Because something
no,
we not good because we can't do
no,
word when we say if you do any biko I
no,
refuse this one meguano oh you
no.
memo.
I can't. That one I cannot do.
Yeah, Tikisha says I agree that it's not good to be rude to parents. The problem is the way people react is really strange. What do you mean? How do people react? People react that the children were rude to their dad. I reacted. I didn't like it. Was cringe
A lot
worthy.
of
I
a
could
lot of
not.
A lot
I,
of people did not agree with those girls. Where
of
when I
course.
saw that video, the comments are a lot of people did not agree with those girls.
Exactly. And I agree, oh, the entire family is hurting. Father, maybe he's
Yes.
not hurting, he has gbaduned himself and he's continuing to gbadun himself.
Bàbá
The wife is
Muti.
hurting.
Ìgbà tó ń ṣe
Exactly.
fídíò bàbá bàbá Muti. Bàbá yẹn ó tún fi spoon ó fi ń rotí. Bàbá yìí ẹ máa sọ̀rọ̀ yín lọ ṣẹ́rí tí yìí mo máa mú.
Kokomi, in fact,
Kọ́kọ́ mi.
tonight I'm packing out of this house. More plant money, my sortie. I will disappear into Moscow with another chick.
Bàbá yẹn just sat there say ẹ ṣe ra ọmọ àlè yìí.
Bóyá èmi kọ́ mo bí wọn, ìyá ẹ̀ kò tiẹ̀ sòótọ́ fún mi, àmọ́ bóyá èmi mo bí wọn.
Ọ̀kúkú jọ mí dẹ̀ lórí sẹ́wọ̀n.
Ẹ wo bó ṣe look at how they are behaving. Kebere ẹ̀rù mi yẹ, ọyìn mẹ́ bí ẹ̀ là ọ̀ abeg, no be me be their papa. You go dey deny.
Ṣé wọn kúkú jọ mí dẹ̀ lórí sẹ́wọ̀n bí?
We don't get this kind of behavior for my family, so only God know where they collect them. God, this is so funny.
I can't laugh. It is well, oh. This one,
My
I'm
sister.
telling you.
Ah.
Yeah, they have to remember the internet does not forget.
Oh, it does not at all. Never and ever. Tikisha said the woman looks, she's been belittled. Clearly.
Oh,
She's
yes.
there, her demeanor, everything said it all. You know,
Yeah.
there's no remedy because the dad and the mom are not setting good examples for the kids. Why do we hold the kids to a higher standard? So we're not, in this case, I have to hold the kids accountable for their actions. Clearly, there's a parenting issue here. For the kids to have the audacity to roll up camera and be videoing the dad and make the dad sit there. That clearly shows you something is wrong with that dynamic. The mother is sitting in one corner, not saying anything. The children have just totally taken control of the whole thing, and the dad is sitting there. There's a problem. So
they have lost respect.
They completely
for even their own mother.
For their own mother to do that in her presence is a problem. I'm holding them to a higher standard. I'm holding them accountable for their actions. Yes. That action is wrong. I don't call it whatever it is wrong. It because is between the two adults. Go ahead, Neka.
If at the end of the day, if their mom stays in that marriage, what do you think she's going to feel?
Exactly.
I want everyone listening, I want you to forget the part that, okay, the man, okay, yes, he's cheating or whatever, but we don't know who knows and who does not know. Let's put that one aside, that we don't know who knows or whatever. But this video has let everybody know that this is going on in their home. Now, if the woman chooses to stay in that marriage and with all these things out there, how do you think she's going to feel? That's even another weight put on the weight that has been on her shoulders before.
Thank you. That's a good question. It's not a good thing.
Online.
It's not a good thing. By the way, again, like I said earlier, if these people had done this thing closed door, and maybe insulted their father and poured water on him, you and I will not know. We will not know what happened. Right? Maybe we'll just see, maybe amongst themselves, they'll just hear just that. Do you see what these children did to them? That's all. That's what maybe like 3 people go know, 3 family go know. That's it.
Yeah.
But right now, they recorded it and put it on video, emasculating their dad and their mom for the whole world to see. There's a problem with that. I'm sorry. I personally hold them accountable for that action. They have a right to be hurt if that's the case. They have a right to have their reactions, but the way they reacted is completely out of place. I'm sorry. There's no way I can condone that. And there's clearly an issue with parenting because the mom was just sitting there. The dad was sipping his tea, like unbothered. That's a problem. That's a problem. This goes back to women standing up for themselves in an emotionally abusive marriage because her silence might be irritating to the kids and provoke their action? What's the root cause? That could be a point. She might be a complacent,
Yes.
quiet, non-verbal woman, doesn't like too much talking. Perhaps that's why she's been taking all this cheating all these years, and the children had it. Children are not, they're not mature, right? So they're going to do what they think is best. So that's probably why they recorded it and put it online, but not understanding. See where the maturity, where their mama for take coming, even though I understand that she's broken and all. No, let's address this family. Don't put it on camera. No, how dare
Yeah.
let them have that meeting within themselves. Even if they yell
Mm-hmm.
and all, nobody's going to be judging them. We would not have known. We will not be discussing it today. We won't talk about it, but they put it out there. That's the problem. Anybody looking at that, I guarantee you, 80% of them are not going to support that, because that's giving too much power to your children. So who is now the
Mm-hmm.
parent? Who's
Yeah. It's not. I mean, he's what has happened is how he did what he did, and it was is very wrong. But they should have let their mom make that decision to be. Maybe maybe they think if they put it out there, their mom will leave.
I
You
don't
think?
see that woman leaving. I don't know.
Exactly.
The woman when I see for there, she not get the strength to leave. Even if she won't leave, no be now. She not get that
Mhm.
strength. Because that woman looked like, when you know be like a balloon when you deflate. You know how she say
Yes,
they flat. That's how she be like, say, energy completely sucked out of her completely.
exactly. Like
You understand?
she was just done. She didn't even know what to say or what to do. Hi,
Exactly.
Celine.
Celine, hello, welcome. Good to see you. Yeah,
Yes,
Fab
it's
Stolly,
here
you need
now.
yeah, you need to go see the video, Fab Stolly, before you start asking me jam question. You never see the video, now you ask me all this jam question. Fab Stolly, warn yourself, oh. Tiki Shark say, I'm talking about when people are hurt, they react in strange ways, and by looking at the girls, they look young. They might regret it later in life. When hormones run, people do. I agree. You see,
Yes.
this is I agree. Now the immaturity be that now, but the adults when they're supposed mature, i.e., if to say that maybe the God forbid that can't be the woman, but hey, the woman could have stepped up and said, "No, baby, we're not going to do that. We can talk about it with family, but no camera.
Mhm.
No, it's not going to happen. We can talk,
Yeah.
we can yell, we can shout, we can be very angry with the dad, but not on camera." That's where the sense for take coming. But clearly they're young, right? They don't
Mm-hmm.
know better. They just think that by doing it, put it online. Yeah, we're gonna deal with him. We're gonna show him, daddy. But
Mm.
guess what? Who show now? Who show who now? You'll be getting the backlash instead of the dad getting the backlash. They will now be
Mm.
getting more of it. You know, Bomi, Bomi says she's going nowhere. I know it did her body.
Exactly.
I know where she they go.
That she's not going anywhere.
That
She's
woman is
not
not
going
going
anywhere.
anywhere. She
No.
not resemble anywhere, but anybody when they move. We be like a person when you sit down, like that song. You get one thing when they do for TikTok now, whether now one whatever.
Mm.
Some people go write countries, they go say they go remain here, they go stand, right? They point. That woman is like, this is I delete, she
Ah,
delete there. Oh, name be
ah,
there. That which I see
that
be that.
Bumi, that woman, they say, Ni, Lolu Ọlọ́run ràn mí lọ́wọ́ dé. She does too much. It's like, wo, ibi tí máa wà lélẹ̀. Ẹ bá sọ jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. She's just like, I
She
don't know. And
can.
that's what happens when you keep
Yeah.
taking those things.
Mm-hmm.
It will change you. It will take a lot from you. It's draining. And that you
Yes.
see a drained human being.
Exactly.
And she, oh, God help
Exactly.
us.
You
When
understand?
you,
Exactly. Gbogbo ẹni, làákàyè ni gbogbo ẹ̀, wisdom, right?
Benny,
Everything is
Benny.
wisdom. And so when you that kind of situation, I feel for the woman. She's
Mm-hmm.
going through a lot emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot say I understand what she's going through, but I can
Mm-hmm.
imagine how frustrating and how like deflated she feels. I
If
get it.
It's the video that he made. That's what brought
Deflated
all.
her.
Yeah,
Right.
that's the Egongoni, the main thing.
Exactly. Bumi
Cause
says they should have. Go ahead. Go ahead, Neka.
seeing that alone,
Mm,
she probably have always known, but seeing that alone, like you even
right.
had the guts to make video.
But what is happening with people these days with video
So
and
yeah, yeah.
doing kerewa? What is going? Is that the new trend? I don't understand though. Eh?
So yeah, me, oh. It might be.
You
I don't know.
salubwa. Which will be camera on when you are doing kerewa? Hey, when you are busy doing the thing and it's sweeting you, where do you have the power to be holding? Me, Okoyemi, I don't understand.
Ọmọ yẹn wo lè àbọ̀rọ̀ dúró mu di kámẹ́rà mú? They have stand now. Wá dẹ̀ gbé stand síbẹ̀ di kámẹ́rà mú. Ọmọ yẹn.
Koyemi ni mo. I'm trying to understand. Never understand though. So I'm trying to, because me I say, hey, me no jari okay. Sorry, I dey speak my language. Me,
It's okay.
Bumi
It's
say
okay.
they should have called the mom to the side or the dad to the side. Exactly. These the kids that already they put the video out. It not leak. Now them by themselves put the video out. Leak it.
They should have done all the yelling and screaming in the house or whatever without, even if what they were not thinking, Sha. That's all I can say.
Oh, they were not. They're gonna regret it eventually. And he says
Mm-hmm.
maybe the children's action was a means to get their dad to act and stand for herself. But guess what? The mother did not act and stand for herself. She was just sitting down there like a deflated tire.
Yeah,
Not
maybe
laughing at her.
that what I was saying that she would leave.
Yeah, you
Maybe she would
understand?
leave. Maybe they want
Yeah.
her to really, really leave. Maybe
Yeah.
that's
But you
why
see, do
they
you
did
see
that.
that woman as somebody that's going to leave? I don't see her as somebody.
Me and you, I'm a quick lobby coco. Kò tí ready, time ò tí tó.
Kotito, there's no
Kò tí tó.
energy. Energy is gone.
There's no, unless
I'm not
those
laughing
girls
at
drag
her,
her
big.
out of there.
Yeah, exactly. So let me quickly address. Mirabel says, "What did the children do on camera? They didn't do it. They just put the way they were talking to their dad, very rude and emasculating the man in front of the wife, right, and asking him questions and yelling at him. They just
And
videoed
reading
the
the
whole thing
messages,
and reading the messages from the people he was cheating with on camera, and they were videotaping him while the man was drinking tea, and the wife was sitting there like deflated." So they put on camera. Welcome, Cynthia.
Hello. Hello. Evening.
hello,
Evening.
Cynthia.
Hello. I said, let me come, and I wanted to defend my fellow Ugandans, but this one I can't.
Okay.
I was shocked. I was like, oh my goodness, this is not our behavior. I'm sorry. Maybe it's the American that's entered them, that's giving them that boldness, but it was shocking.
That's
I
what
couldn't
people
even
are
watch
saying,
it.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I went back and I just kind of rewatched. I had to watch it because I wanted to, because I've seen it on like social media, but when it started, I didn't actually watch the full video. It just was like, when you have secondhand embarrassment, it was just, what is going on? I couldn't watch it. So I just watched it just now because I want to, obviously, to be able to have the conversation. I need to understand what actually happened. But from what I can see, I feel like there's a lot of different things happening, and this incident with the dad, them finding the messages, has ignited and kind of thrown struck the final match that's kind of ignited everything. But underneath it, there's a lot of different issues going on, which I feel like the dad has a kind of a bad relationship with his daughters already. I think there was 4 of them. There's 4 daughters that were sitting there. And the one that was videoing, she was the one that was the most she was the one that was the most angry at the time of the filming, because I think the sister was saying that she had just found out the day before. However, her sister, there was a sister who was sitting down that talks later, and she says to him that I'd already cut you off 14 years ago. So it's not an issue that
You
started
see?
on
Ooh.
that day. Do you understand? She's like, I'd already cut you off as my dad 14 years ago. I'm only just seeing you as a financial, like you're only just a financial thing for me. The relationship between us is already severed. And she's like a young lady. Do you understand? So
Mm-hmm.
if you watch the video, like to get the context, I feel like there's a lot of things happening in the
Mm-hmm.
household with the dad, the husband and the wife. They have their own issues because even the mum was saying we were going through counseling and one of the daughters was screaming like she wants to go for counseling and you're it's like you don't want, she's trying but you're not trying. And the mum was like,
Mm.
oh, we're even, you told me you want to go for counseling, you haven't been for counseling. So I feel like if you know there's a lot of things happening, and I feel like this issue has just literally tipped them over the edge. But
Mm-hmm.
each of the girls is already has a very strange relationship with the father, and the way the man is sitting is like he's very unbothered, which is
Drinking,
bizarre to
drinking
me.
Ugandan tea.
I'm
Mm.
telling you, he's
Planning the
drinking that
next
tea.
babe.
Ah, it's terrible. And if you listen to the conversation, like the conversations he was having with the person, because the girl put the screenshots on the like on the TV or something, I said,
Mm-hmm.
wow, they really went deep.
Mm.
But yeah, I feel like, you know, the father with all his daughters, which is four that I counted, they all have a strained relationship with him, a very severed relationship. And then he also has his own problem with his wife that he's going through as well. So if the daughter's saying that 14 years ago, she's already at 14 or 14
Wow.
years ago, she's already decided that she doesn't want a relationship with him. She's only just managing the relationship for her financial gain. Obviously, maybe she just goes to the dad, oh, pay this, pay that, and there's no other relationship. Then it's quite sad that it's not just this cheating. I feel like the cheating was just the final icing on the cake
Straw.
that really blew, because the daughter who was recording, who was
Mm-hmm.
the most angriest, she was saying that I was trying to give you, I feel like she's the one that, even though the sister had already cut off the dad, I feel like she was the one that was still
Trying to help.
trying to love the dad or trying to give him the
Right.
benefit of the
Mm-hmm.
doubt. That's why
Mm-hmm.
she's the most angriest, because I think she was saying I'm still the one that I was still trying to like love you or something. I don't know what she was saying, but she was
Right.
shouting. So, you know, it's more raw for her because I feel like maybe she was trying to give the man the benefit of the doubt. Do you understand? So
Right. The girl's heart is broken. That's her first
it's
heartbreak.
broken, yeah. So that's why I think
Mm.
she's the one that's uploaded and posted it. Maybe for, you know, I feel like people nowadays they go to social media for like the court of public opinion, but I
Well,
mean, it doesn't mean anything. Like at the end of the day, it's your family business. We can only watch. We'll have our opinion, but it's
that's
not going
it.
to change anything in your household.
Mm-mm.
Do you
Exactly.
understand? Yeah,
Yeah.
once you put it on, but it's quite sad, like watching it now. Um, and kind of understanding what's going on from what I can see. There seems to be a lot going on. Yeah, that's my contribution.
So
Right.
that
Thank you
so
very
that's
much.
why the man was sitting down like, this thing is not today. Oh. Why are you yelling
It's
and
not
screaming?
today at all. At
Yeah.
all. Because the mum was like, oh, I think she traveled because she's got her suitcase. And I think they traveled. And then she was saying that this is when we were away. And I think they said,
Mm.
they mentioned something. It sounds like they went for a wedding. But I think the part of Uganda that they're from, I think either they're Buganda or something. It's not the tribe that I'm from, but I can kind of hear that she was saying that Luwombo or something, which is I think is
Mm-hmm.
a wedding something anyway. But it seems
Right.
like they've traveled because the mum has got suitcase, she's unpacking.
Yeah, I saw that.
Do
Yeah.
you understand? So I feel like
Mm-hmm.
all this has happened while she's been away. And the kids have, or one of them has discovered it and now is like putting this guy on blast, you know? But it's not something that has just started today, because if she said that they've been going there, she wanted him to go for counseling and he's not, and then the daughter was saying, oh, you're not even going for counseling, she's trying, you know, I'm effing this, I'm effing that. So I just feel like the kids,
Wow.
I can understand the frustration and the
Mm.
pain, but at the same
Mm.
time, that is your parents' business. It's not for
Clean.
you. It's not. You can support your mom on the side, hold your
Yes.
grudge with your dad or whatever. But to kind
Yes.
of like, I don't get it. Like to come out and bring him. Like, are you gonna force your mom to divorce him and pack your mom out of the house?
Ataya.
Exactly.
You know, like your mom is still gonna sit there and be married to the man. until she's ready to leave him or whatever she decides to do. So all of this, that's why I feel like the pain is coming from the daughter's own pain towards her dad. She's just
Yeah.
used this issue with the mum to catalyst. It's like the catalyst for her to bring out her own grievance with her dad, which is not the right thing, because her problem is not only that the dad is cheating, is that they have a bad relationship as well for
With
whatever
him.
reason with him.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh man, I couldn't. It was just too cringe. It was too
It was too
cringy for me.
cringy, honestly.
I
And
could
the
not.
conversation, if you go back into the conversation, it's she was like, I'm going to say this to your dad. What? Oh
The
my
way she
God.
was yelling, there were some things I heard. I just quickly shut myself up. I was like,
there were
no,
some
I
things
can't.
that she was saying, and I was like,
Yeah.
you come on, you don't need to say this. Like
Exactly.
sexual things that she was
Yes.
reading. I'm
Yes.
like, oh, come on. It's okay. We know what happens when men cheat. You don't have to go
Exactly.
into it. She was going into it.
Yeah.
Oh God. I was so
I had some
embarrassed.
of it. I could not. You see, you even tried, you went, but I could not. I was like, I
No.
can't
She
do
really,
this.
like, she really want to embarrass the dad. Like,
She
she
wanted
wants him
to
to
embarrass him,
feel
of
it.
course. Yeah, but I mean, the guy looks like, he will. In the end, I think when he had absorbed everything, I don't know if he's one of those people that takes a while for information to get into him, but it's like he was in another. I don't know what he was thinking, because she was saying a lot that he was not reacting to, which was quite shocking. You know.
Now, wow. So, Cynthia, me, I know blue film. I beg, go. You should not spoil me, oh. Here, because wait to be blue film. Define them. Hey, Egbami. I'm just seeing this comment. It's fun. Tiki Shack say it's fun. No, you have camera stand. Hey, Tiki Shack, Baba, oh, I doff my heart for you. I know you go know this kind thing. No, I don't used to do. I don't have time for camera.
It's when you said about filming. I said,
Yeah,
don't you do blue movies?
I don't get. I beg.
My hair is Jesus speaking. My Jesus.
Ọmọ
Jesus speaking.
Yeshua lèmi jẹ́ o. Na church we dey sleep o.
Which one is it? Mother of Jesus. It's
Mary Magdalene. Oh
with
my
the bad
God.
one. I will not corrupt you.
Marriott, what are you saying? This Marriott will just come from nowhere and be saying some kind of shady things. What is sweeting me? What is not going to sweet me? For crying out loud, Marriott.
Marriott is there. Yeah, you trouble.
I will set Mirabelle on you, and I have your weapon. Don't worry. Try yourself. On my corner after dark. Hi, Dodo. You saw the video, right? You didn't know what to think of it. I was embarrassed. I was so embarrassed. I felt bad for the wife. I felt bad for the children. In all, I was disappointed in you. I was like, no, there's nothing. I don't care. You see, if they had not put it on camera, if they had all this backlash, right, all this emotional breakdown or whatever in front of the dad with the mom, without the camera, none of us will be here talking about it, right? We would not know. Maybe they would have found a way to sort themselves out. Maybe the mom would have left. Maybe the dad would have moved on. Who knows, right? But for you to now, and clearly the man has been doing it before. So I kind of blame the woman. I'm sorry. It's harsh, but I have to be honest. You know that you've been with a man who does not know how to stay in one place, and you remain in it 14 years after. Even your daughter has said that's why I stopped communicating with you, according to what we heard. 14 years, I mean, come on, right? Did you have to get to a point where the children will now have to emasculate their dad in front of the camera? You know,
Yeah, but
that's
this
the
is
problem.
what happens when people are like, oh, the kids and the kid. This kind of stuff. It starts when the kids are young, and then they'll say, oh, the children are not aware. They're not seeing what's happening, but the kids are absorbing absolutely everything that is happening. They're just
Exactly.
waiting until they're old enough to be able or bold enough to come out and confront you as parents, which is probably
Simple.
what the girls have done, because they've been holding it, seeing this, maybe the relationship. But I feel like it's maybe also because the man is very, like, he's very, there's no like emotion, sometimes, yeah, when you're having some people, maybe in order to provoke a reaction or to get something from him, that's why they want to put him on blast. Do you understand? Because they want to get something.
Right.
Because that's what
Some
I'm saying.
reaction.
Because
Right.
what the girl was saying, this man, when the I mean, if you've been cheating and you've been caught, yeah, a normal reaction is, at least, wouldn't you try to get your phone? Wouldn't you try to get up, maybe turn the TV off, walk out of the room? The man sat there and was drinking his tea like they were doing a school report.
Real life reality TV show. He was watching his own reality TV show.
I'm telling you, it's like he was in a like a business meeting or something, very chilled. Like they were having a normal discussion. I didn't understand. That's what I'm saying. When he got the information, it's like either the man is slow, which I don't think so. I just think he's one of those type of people that it's like that attitude of he doesn't care. So to me, I feel like that's why the daughter decided to put him on camera to try and evoke some kind of reaction from him, because on a normal day I can tell this man, there's no reaction that comes from him.
Because he's used to doing it. Because he's been used to doing it, and the wife has been accepting it for years.
Yeah, and it's so frustrating if you're a person who is kind of emotional. Let's say you're having an argument with somebody and the person is not saying anything back. It's frustrating. If you're not somebody who has got the emotional intelligence to think, you know what, this is going nowhere. You want to provoke them until you get some kind of reaction, which is what I feel the daughters, they were doing. Because if they were talking to him behind, this man, he's there drinking his tea, having his bread, looking at them. I don't understand.
Cynthia, didn't you see the guy? He checked out a long time ago.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He checked out. He said he was looking fresh.
So they have to
wife was just looking like she was just dejected, and he's looking fresh. Look, he had his polo shirt on.
And the man sitting there pretending like he's gone mute from the conversation that he was doing. No. Those two people are not the same people. So he's not pretending. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's not giving them the satisfaction of answering them. He's not giving them the audience at all, which is so disrespectful. To me personally, I can't stand people like that. If I have a problem with you, I want us to have a conversation. Not an argument. I want you to tell me your point of view. I'll speak my mind. You tell me yours. You can't have a discussion or settle something if the person is not talking. You're not getting anything from them, which is what I feel. Why I think the girls decided to put the dad on blast to try and provoke some kind of reaction from him. They still didn't get anything from him. So he's just a lost cause. The man has checked out a long time ago, because
he has.
Yeah.
He didn't even get up. He didn't get up to try and do anything. He didn't even try to get up to like get his phone. I don't know. He's just a bizarre character.
The guy is enjoying his lifestyle. After all, in his mind, he saying the woman that I married has not complained. She's been comfortable with it. Why now?
Why is the daughters complaining? It's got nothing to do with them.
Exactly. So that's what he's going through his mind. Because guess what? Even in his mind, he's already booked an appointment with one chick. He's waiting for them to finish so that he can go and cool down.
Exactly.
It's true.
Cool down.
Tiki Shark says. Yeah, Tiki Shark says, if you're Nigerian and went to boarding school, don't lie that you did not read Harley Quinn. I did not read Harley Quinn and Mills and Boone. I was the Agatha Christie person. I was never.
You only wore skirt and blouse.
Skirt and blouse. That's it. Okay. And I was a Agatha Christie person, right? When all the this detective books, there's another one again that I used to read. I read Pacesetters. Sorry?
I don't know, is it Poirot?
No, well, something like Poirot, but not exactly. But those I read, there were no Agatha Christie books. They last for my hand. I don't finish them. I'm
sorry, I can't relate to my 80s baby.
Oh, sorry.
Mills and Boone. I don't know.
So that's the kind. Those are the kind of meal sample my friends try to get me in for where no work because from mine, the first time I tried it, I was like they would describe the man hairy, ruggedly handsome. I could not come. I just
You
could not
didn't even
relate to
read
it.
that, not even one.
I didn't. Oh, I was not interested
Okay.
at all. I had friends. Guess what? I noticed that when my friends are reading it, when we have a teacher in class, they know they hear word again. They are gone. They go just put their head down. They read that book. They don't. Teacher will not call them. Hey, what did I just say?
Mm-hmm.
They're not feel answer. They used to get embarrassed a lot.
That's
So in my
true.
mind,
That's true.
I was like, there must be something wrong with this book. Oh, I beg. Let me stick to my Agatha Christie. At least that one I can put it down because there's suspense. I don't want to get to the suspense yet because I'm suspicious of the person who did it, but I don't want to get there yet. So yeah, that was
Oh,
me.
that's cute though. That's the innocence of reading back in it. Well,
Yeah.
to a level. But
Oh,
nowadays, I mean, I can't even read. I can't even read books anymore. How bad is that? I
my
just read
sister.
audio. Everything has become it's digitalized and everything. Audio books.
Yes.
Honestly, it's
Audio.
terrible. I used to love
Yes.
getting books and reading books like proper storybooks, But now
Yeah.
I
Oh
can't
my
remember the last
God.
time I bought a physical book,
Book.
paper, and turned the
Yeah.
pages. You
I
know,
still
so
read every now and again. I can't lie. Every now and again, I miss pages of books because I used to read heavily. So
yeah.
there are times I just crave for it. So I just shut down, and even if it's like a chapter of the book, I'll read it, and that's it. And then Mirabel is looking for the video. Mirabel, have you found
It's
it? Say,
there.
what's
It's
the title? Gotta go watch
just
it.
type in Ugandan daughters expose dad. It will pop up. It's
Okay.
like I think it was on Twitter or something.
Okay.
But it comes up. The video comes up.
Okay.
Let me look for Mirabelle's trouble. Mirabelle, why you always late to the party?
Exactly. Miriam will come and be asking Jam. She and Fab Stolly don't join now. Fab Stolly go they ask Jam question. Mirabel self go come they ask Jam question. And then Tiki Shark says, and was in GS1 when I got introduced to those books. I was a missionary child. Though. Really? See
He said the
expose.
truth.
Oh. People are confessing here. Oh. They are family in blood only, no connection left. Yep, you could be
Yeah,
right there.
That's
definitely.
true. That's
14
true.
years is a strange, yeah. Whoa. And then somebody will be asking question. Nobody go answer. Mirabel, the verse. The verse or comment section. Nancy Drew. Thank you, Tiki Shark. I read Nancy
Yes.
Drew. Hey, Fab Story say you read all of the above. So you were those people reading me some book. Teacher go the class call on and on the year word. When I
I'm not
put my head
surprised.
on that desk.
Actually.
God, I never see that thing affect some of my friends. So they go they look for ruggedly handsome. I say Emma Pembe,
Ruggedly
ruggedly.
handsome. Long. Àwọn ruggedly handsome. Àwọn ni Mongo Paki lẹ́nu.
I never went to boarding school or Mirabel. All this one are day student levels. In my house, my dad used to make us read books when we got back from school. So that's how I got used to reading books. And then you were a curious reader. I knew a lot that I wasn't supposed to know too soon. I can tell, Tiki Shark, I can tell. I can tell. Eh? Mirabel says, I haven't found it though. I don't have Twitter or Instagram. All I have is YouTube. So I'm usually under the rock until Mirabel, you don't need to have Twitter. I don't have Twitter. What you do, go to Twitter, right? Just type in Ugandan
I
girls.
just typed in Google and it popped up. And
Or
the video was
Google
there. I don't have
Ugandan.
Twitter either.
Thank you. Ugandan girls and the pop up. Mirabel,
Mirabel, why are you
Jarael.
not on IG and all of those places? They are your enemies. What happened?
Mirabel no want to they involved in social media. I
I
don't
don't
blame her.
blame you, Sha.
Not in school, oh, okay. Don't farm solely. And then Dodo says, does anyone remember Ababioke? Yeah! Dodo, don't remind me Ababioke. I was terrible with chemistry. I love the experiment too. I like being in the lab when they used to do all those experiments that was like
Me, I
easy
know
water.
this science class. I beg.
Oh
Carry
my
your
God.
chemistry go.
Ababio. I not like chemistry. I was not a science student too. I didn't like it. Physics was boring to me. So I was more of an art student too. So yeah.
Ah, don't say physics was my husband is here. They hear you.
Yeah?
Physics, there. I want Ghani.
Ah,
So,
Emma Binusa, Physics no, was not my friend though. Maybe because of the teacher I had, he was a boring teacher. Yuck. So I couldn't. I was always sleeping in his class. Mirabel says I read a lot, but none of it the ones you mentioned. Okay, Mirabel. Tiki Shark say just go to Gist Lover, Mirabel. Mirabel say you just
Mirabel
they
no get
shout my name.
IQ. Eh?
Help Uganda girl do waiting. Mirabel, I will beat this girl. Oh my God.
Every Friday. Mirabel. Every Friday you do this.
Mirabel, don't let me come beat you. They shout. Mirabel sounds like my
Where is
youngest sister.
Marius?
My
Where is
goodness.
Marius?
No, Mario just insults me, go hide. He just insults me, just drop one comment, just go hide. That's what Mario does.
Mirabel say Marius, they always short of like NEPA.
I can't with these two girls. Oh my God. Dodo say your husband will know Newton's law of motion very well. Oh. The laws of motion and inertia, and even further. Further man. I was a bit good in further man,
Oh
so I
yeah.
beg, let me clap for myself. Hey, further man was
Uh-uh.
my friend.
I didn't do for that math, nothing.
I did it.
First class.
I did it. Mirabel, you dey laugh, no wahala. So my people, I no support make children dey disrespect their parents. I beg, I no care wetin dey happen. Your husband and your wife, if una get problem, una sort am out. If you as the woman, after you know say your husband don dey cheat since 19 gborogodo, you don dey cheat, dey come dey cheat, you still follow marry enter inside. Okay, you marry inside, you can't drag these children now, can't they fight your battle for you? Does it now look good? Imagine what you
Mm.
put these children through for no reason. You could have
Mm-mm.
ended this thing a while ago. You could have put a stop to it, whatever you needed to do, but you tagged these children along. Guess who's suffering now? Those kids. They are now the ones that have been heartbroken because usually now the papa now they fair break picking hearts, especially if you have a daughter. Yeah,
Yes.
And
those
he's got
children
4.
exactly.
Mm.
And he's got 4. So those children are growing up now, seeing that it's crushed their heart. Let me tell you, those children are going to need help. And they're going to
Yes.
come to terms
Yeah.
with the fact that what they did to their father was wrong, even though he was wrong. But guess what, though? It was the I mean, in as much as I know it's a dicey situation for her, she's emotional, but she's to blame. You chose the man. Those children did not choose. Now you carry the belly. So you chose the man. You knew that this man, this is why for me it's hard for me sometimes to contribute to some of the topics we talk about, especially when it has to do with relationship, onobodo yibo. You chose this man. You got married. You already knew that the man was already putting out there. He was already sowing his wild oats everywhere. You still stayed. You have one child, have 2, have 3, have 4. You say you want to stay in one place and have all your children. Then you end up giving birth to children that are emotionally damaged. Then they will now have to spend a better part of their life trying to fix what they did not even break. Fair? Let's think about it. It's not fair now.
No, it's
Yeah.
not fair on the
And you know
children
what?
at all.
It's I kind of can put myself in a similar situation with my own. I'll just give a quick it's kind of similar to the relationship that I have with my stepdad currently, because I'm estranged. I will say I don't have a relationship with him. That's through my own choice, how he behaves. Similar behavior like this guy. The kind of attitude of just not taking any accountability whatsoever. And my mom, obviously, she has 2 children with him, which is my brother and my sister. They're younger than me, but we're all obviously mature now. And the relationship that they had was one, it was just up and down at a certain point. So they separated for a number of years. My mom moved, then they got back together, then she moved back. And then at that time, I think I've mentioned here that I had my daughter quite young. So I'd already
Yes.
moved out of home. So it was my brother and my sister that were kind of still in the mix of that backwards and forwards between them. And eventually, I feel like the relationship it got to a point where I think it was the second and final time that my mom left, and this time she stayed like 100%. Now she's been on her own ever since, and it's been like years, because of an incident that happened. But what ended up happening is now my brother and sister ended up staying with their dad, living with him, and my mom moved away. But she wasn't far, within the same area, but like one side. But my brother and sister ended up living with them, and that whole time I was really angry with my brother and sister because I was like, are you guys taking sides or something? I don't understand what you're doing. You know the type of man that this man is, but you're still sitting down in the house. You're living with him. Do you understand? So for me, I had my daughter. I was living by myself. I mean, I am living my own life. And what was happening there, I was not privy because I don't live there. I don't know what exactly is going on. So then eventually what ended up happening is the relationship got so bad that when my sister went to university, she obviously moved out of the house and left my brother and my dad, and like my stepdad, together. They had such a bad, it was such a like a volatile relationship to the point where eventually my brother moved out of the house and left. He moved out and he moved in with my mom. Like he moved back to my mom's house. And to this day, my brother and my sister, they both cut ties with their dad, and they don't speak to him anymore.
Wow.
They don't speak to him anymore. Yeah.
Wow.
You know, yeah. But obviously there's a lot of things that I've missed out, so the story is a bit incomplete. But
Of course.
essentially the relationship just became, it was quite toxic from his side towards them, towards my mom as well. And then eventually my mom was like, okay, since they want to stay, it's better for them. She's not going to poison their mind against him because, I mean, they should have been old enough to see what was happening anyway.
Right.
It wasn't like DV or anything, but it was a lot of like, you know, emotional kind of like, you know, just manipulation, all this kind of weird behavior that he used to do towards us as kids. But one of the things that he did used to do is like, I remember when my brother and sister were younger, so there's about a 5 and 6 year gap between between myself, I'm the oldest, and then my brother and sister are closer. They're like, I think a year apart, so they're almost like twins, how they grew up. And then it was me, I'm the one that's on the outside. And then also so at a point when my parents moved to the UK, my mum was a teacher. My dad, I think he was working maybe in like the government or something. So obviously there was a war in Uganda. The civil war broke out. So we moved to the UK under like asylum seeking because obviously the Uganda is part of the Commonwealth. So my parents moved here to UK to start their own life. So when my mom moved here, you know, at a time you're kind of, you can't work, you don't have papers, you know, you're kind of in that claiming asylum. It's like a limbo, right?
Right.
We don't have like a proper stay here, so you're on like government assistance, all this type of thing. And even so, my mom was still making, like, she was still working. I think she was working under like another name.
Okay.
Back in the day, to try and work, hustle, because the government would give you like an allowance, but that allowance is not enough. Is, you know, they pay your rent and stuff, but then the extra money they give you is maybe like £30 a week.
Right.
Back in the day, I mean, £30, like three at the time it was me. And maybe my sister, that's not enough money. So, you know, obviously people, you know, my mum in the community, she started working. My mum was holding down, I think, 3 jobs. 3 jobs.
Wow.
4 jobs, cleaning hotel. It's like a chambermaid. Back in the day it was called, but it's like housekeeper. You know, you go into the hotel, you clean the hotel, then she'll finish that job, go to another job. So yeah, so it's only my mum that was really from what I saw as a kid, it was only my mum that worked the entire relationship.
Oh wow, that's a lot.
The only thing that I can say that man did, I'll call him that man because anyways, just for the sake, because really he was just the man. He used to fix stuff in the house. Anything that needed fixing, he was the person to go to. But in
Same
terms
here.
of provide, I'm telling you, in terms of providing, no, he never provided. I can't even remember if he gave me a pound my
Mm-hmm.
entire existence of me growing up. And then you think
Wow.
that if a man like that is living with you, there should be something that he should be contributing. Maybe he will be doing school runs, or um attending like PTA, kind of picking up the areas. No, it's my mum did, literally my mum did everything and
Mm-hmm.
provided. It's only when I got older I started to realize. So anyways, at a certain point, our papers came. My parents were given right to remain. Then after that, you get your documents. You can stay. You can work. Fine. So once that was all done, my mum decided to go back to university because she wanted to retrain as a teacher and
Mm-hmm.
go back into the teaching field here, of course, because I mean, she can't be doing those jobs for the rest of her life, That
Right.
wasn't what she was doing before. Do you know that my dad was so he was so jealous that my mum was trying to better herself where he was not doing anything, that he used to sit down, my brother and sister, when my mum used to go to university, and sometimes you will stay late because you've got coursework or you need to submit work. It's not even staying late, maybe like 5 o'clock. And because she's not there to like pick us up, cook dinner, she'll be away. He would sit down, my brother and sister, who at the time were like maybe 5 and 6, and I was maybe 9
Mm-hmm.
or 10, something like that. He will sit them
Mm.
down, these little children, and he'll be telling us that he'll be sitting us down and telling us, oh, look at the time that your mom is out. She's out there with men.
Ah,
I'm telling
Hey.
you.
mm.
Wow.
He was saying that your mom, she's a bad woman. Is this a responsible woman? Her children are here. Look at the time that she's coming back. All the time, at least for me, I was a bit older, and I feel like the type of child that I was very like, I wasn't like, I don't know. I don't, I'm not receptive to bullshit, even at that
Mm-hmm.
age. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like,
Mm.
I did not accept what he was saying. It just didn't sit right in my spirit. What the conversation that he was having was so inappropriate to be sitting down, especially my brother and sister who were younger, and
Mm-hmm.
saying all these type of things to them. So obviously, me, when my mom came back, I told my mom, I was like, oh, I don't like, what daddy's saying. He's saying this, he's saying that. So then, as a child, instantly, and also sticking up for my mom, because I just didn't like what he was saying. So they started having their own issues about that. So then what he started doing was he will isolate me, and he will take my brother and sister on by themselves, and he will go and still continue those conversations, but he will not involve me in those
Involve
conversations because
you.
because I've already
Wow.
come to speak out. Do you understand? So anyway,
Right.
I say this to say that that type of behavior continued the entire time. So he would isolate me from, obviously, I never knew that my dad was not my dad for until I was an adult. Yeah.
Mm.
But for some
Mm.
reason, I had already, I don't know, maybe the way that he behaved, I had already kind of picked up that what's going on. Like, I don't understand. In this family, I don't really look like my dad. I don't look like my mom. Where do I kind of fit? And my mom used to say, oh, you look like your grandma. But when I see my grandma, I'm like, I don't look like my grandma. I'm not understanding. So
Same here.
it's funny, but it's not funny.
Yeah, I get
Yeah,
it.
it's funny, but it's
It
not
was the
funny.
way
So
you
yeah,
said
so
it.
Yeah.
honestly, but she would tell me that, like, and I'm just like, I used to think that am I adopted because this family, if you see my brother and my sister, I'm telling you, oh yeah, my brother looks the spitting image of my dad, and my sister is like the identical. She's like my mom's twin, literally.
Wow.
So and then there's me that is just there looking like nobody. So so in myself as a little kid, I kind of always felt different anyway. And I always used to ask my mom, I'm like, why do I look different from Donna, like my brother and sister? And why do I know? I always used to ask her and she never used to say
Mm-hmm.
anything. So, anyways, I feel like that kind of helped him. I started to isolate me, and which is what he ended up doing for my brother and sisters.
Mm.
So I just say this to say that eventually, as we got older, our relationship became like literally, it's just I see him, he sees me, we're in the same house. Oh, good morning. There's that just that respect for the sake of respect. Oh, good morning,
Right.
good evening, but no conversation, nothing. That's how I grew. And then eventually, obviously, I had my child, I left the house. And part of me having my child is a lot to do with that kind of isolation from him as
Right. You
my dad.
wanted
Do you
something
understand?
of your own. Yeah, I
Yes.
get
Absolutely.
it.
So then when I see these girls having that argument with their dad, is like the pain that the girl was feeling, the one that said, "Oh, I've already cut you off."
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've already cut you off in terms of the emotional connection that I have with you. I can 100% relate to that. That
Hmm.
do you understand? Like
Yeah.
I can get it. I feel that because the pain that she has is like no matter what, like you haven't shown up for me, you haven't done what you're supposed to do for me as a father. So I'm not gonna bother anymore to invest that emotional. I'm not gonna give you that emotional kind of. I'm not gonna give you that emotion to be
Mm-hmm.
crying, to be upset. I'm just gonna dead. You're just. It's like you're dead to me, but you're
Hmm.
just here, which is how she's been surviving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So now that I'm thinking about the video, I'm like, oh, I can feel what that girl was feeling because that's exactly what I did to what I did to him as well. I just completely just,
Mm.
he was just there. I just ignored him. He ignored me. We lived like that. Good morning, good evening, finished.
Mm-hmm.
There was no other conversation for years, and to this day, there's no relationship. He doesn't check for
Wow.
me. He
Mm.
doesn't check
Mm-hmm.
for me. He doesn't check. I don't check for him, and I have no intention of either because I feel like when you become I feel like I'm an adult. I have my own life. I have my own family. I need to be invest my time in a person that actually gives a damn about me, first of all. And
Mm-hmm.
second of
Mm-hmm.
all, I can't keep investing my emotions in somebody that is emotionally vacant.
Right. Not
Yeah.
available.
At
Yeah.
all, at all. There's a, and even for his, and even when I found out that he wasn't my dad, do you know that it was such it's like it was such a big relief because everything, the way
Mm.
that the man treated me, it's like
Mm-hmm.
it made sense. I said, no
Sense.
wonder, no wonder.
Hmm.
I'm not even upset. I'm even
Hmm.
happy. Do you
Right.
understand? I'm even happy
Right.
because it means I don't need to fight for that relationship.
Right. It gave you peace about it.
Yeah, it gave me peace. I can walk away and say, I'm not, because even recently, my mom was like, oh, she sat us down and she was like, oh, you guys, you should try and, after COVID, my mom was like, oh, my mom's just that type of person. So I can kind of see that lady in my mom a little bit, that kind
Hmm.
of passive and,
Right.
just even as of just recently, Christmas, she sat us all down because my brother and sister, I'm not involved because to me that he's not my dad. So the kind of pain that I feel or the wanting that I want from him, the yearning of the father is not there. My
Hmm.
real dad has already passed away years ago. I can't ever have that relationship. I've kind of like put that pains me more because there's no
Right.
opportunity to even revisit that relationship. That's the one that
Right.
pains me more. Do you understand? But
Mm-hmm.
with my stepdad, I mean, it's his loss at the end of the day, but it's my brother and sister, whatever relationship. So my mom sat us down and she was like, oh, after COVID, you people, you should try and reach out to him. I said, Mom, count me out. Count me out.
Yeah.
His children are sitting there. If they want to have a relationship with him, that's fantastic. They
Hmm.
should do that. But as for me, I've seen him in public function, like family functions. This man will
Mm-hmm.
walk past me like he does not even know me. Is that somebody that I
Whoa.
should go and be trying to do fake relationship with? No, I'm sorry, I
Mm-hmm.
can't. I can't,
Wow.
not at my age at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I just feel like sometimes when the dad is just like you're not getting anything, it's better to I don't know, counseling 100%. But at the same time, I feel like sometimes for the children, when they're in that type of situation, it becomes so toxic that eventually, even if you're not invested in terms of giving the emotion, like the outburst that the other daughter is, you just become kind of you just reside yourself to you don't even care. But
You
at the same
become
time,
numb.
yeah, you become numb to it. But I won't tell you that it doesn't pain me. It 100% does because that's the only man that I've ever known.
Right.
And there's a
Mm.
rejection. There's a rejection there. Do you understand?
Right.
So,
Right.
and it's painful, but it's like, what can you do? I can't force a relationship with somebody that doesn't reciprocate or somebody that doesn't want to fight for it either. I don't think as a
Right.
child I should be the one begging for your attention as a parent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was just my. Somebody
Wow.
said my thing is like a Nollywood. That's I've no. I haven't even done. It's not even done. That's just the tip of the iceberg. It's not even gone deep. It's a Nollywood movie, to be honest. But
Right.
that's just the little where I feel like now I'm thinking about it. I can kind of
Relate.
relate. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
can see it. I can definitely see it.
Yeah,
Wow.
man. Can you imagine
Thanks
that?
for sharing.
Thanks a
Yeah,
lot
And
for
don't we
being
all have
vulnerable.
stories?
Yeah,
What about you?
wow.
I'm always, I feel like I'm always oversharing because it's like a girl chat,
No,
like
you're
a
not
three-way
Oh, no, no,
oversharing. Matter
no.
of fact, there are people connecting. Jodo just said Jodo's response was you're
Oh,
really
can't see the
you
messages.
yeah, let me share that. That's what Dodo said. And then Mirabel had a question after
Oh,
that. Um
I think she already
she,
answered that
oh, I think she already
question.
did. Yeah. So no, definitely. Since the thing, this is why I like this. When we come together at this time, everybody lets their head down. This is what it's about. It's very
Mm-hmm.
therapeutic. Tiki Shak just said it too. It's very, very
Yes.
therapeutic because when you share that part of yourself, you don't know who's listening. You don't
mm,
know who's in that situation right now. Like those, I wish those girls maybe had the opportunity to listen to this, for instance, right? You don't know who's
Yeah.
listening that would say, "Oh my God, this is exactly
Mm-hmm.
what I went through or I'm going through that I don't even know how to deal with." And you just give somebody an answer, you just help them in
Yes.
that very situation. So when you share like this, something you just never know who's listening. So
Yeah.
you're never
yeah,
oversharing, and it's a safe
yeah,
place anyway.
yeah,
People don't,
definitely. And
Yeah.
I
yeah,
think
as long.
somebody asked, how did
Hmm.
I feel when I found out? To be honest, I don't feel like. So I found out when I was. So my mom told me when I was like 27,
Hmm.
and I'm 36 now. But it's
Wow.
not even.
Mm.
It's like a while ago, but it's not a while ago because it's been my whole life. I feel like,
Right.
and if I'm honest, like 100% honest, there was a
Hmm.
point, I feel maybe until recently, that I
Hmm.
really just, I don't know, inside myself, even towards my mom, like I love my mom. There's so many sacrifices she's made, and I now having kids, I understand, and also speaking to her about actually, how the
Hmm.
circumstances came about. And also it's a lot of culture as well,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
so why she didn't tell me, but it's not a secret. This is the thing that
Right.
this is the thing that really upset me. It's like, okay, if it had been a secret that, nobody, is like a family secret, nobody knew, was under the carpet, but everybody knew. Just not
Hmm.
me, just not me, just
Yeah.
not me. So I just feel like everybody, like, I've been lied to my whole life. Do you understand? And that's the bit that
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like it's painful, because if it wasn't a secret, it's not something that was hidden. Why did nobody tell me until I was a grown ass person, where I had no opportunity to even build any kind of relationship with my actual dad? Do you understand?
Right.
Mm.
That decision was taken away from me, and
Hmm.
Yes.
for what? Because of
Yeah.
you
Somebody
just
said
Mm.
there's a book inside you, man.
yeah,
It's
there is,
so
but I just
relatable.
no, there is 100%, but I'm not ready to write that book.
I know. And then somebody said, Cynthia married, but is Cynthia married now? And how are the kids doing? That was a really emotional story.
Oh,
Sharing helps you heal.
yeah, definitely.
Yes.
But I'm not married, not yet. Don't worry, we're
Not
working on it. Working on it.
Cynthia sounds Nigerian now. Did you hear her response?
Abuse.
Neka. Did you
It's
hear
bad
the way she
influence from my
emphasized
partner.
not yet?
Not
Anna,
yet.
Mm-hmm.
na
My
Naija.
Yoruba babe.
Yeah,
I'm
Naija
around.
babe. Oh,
I'm telling
forget.
you, honorary one.
Yeah.
I'm
Exactly.
telling Tiki Shack is
No,
happy you're in the same age bracket. Yay on your
yeah,
behalf.
no. So I feel like for me that was the thing that hurt the most, because by the time my mom
Right.
told me, and even if I think about it, really, I mean, given the displacement of the country, it's unlikely that I would have been able to, because my real dad, my mom eventually tracked him down, like tracked down the family, and
Mm-hmm.
one of the reasons I made my first trip back home was to
Mm.
actually go for his, like, they organized like a like a remembrance. Is it a
Okay.
remembrance? Like,
Yeah.
one of those
Yeah.
last rites. But everything was so overwhelming that I couldn't really
Right.
take it in, because that's the first time I'm meeting these people that I've never known in my life. And
Right.
they're also so happy to see me, because the way that my mom kind of took me like in a covert
In a covert
operation,
way.
in a covert way, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy. The story is just crazy. There was a lot of
Wow.
fourth wife, fifth wife. It just it's crazy.
Oh wow.
Wow.
I'm telling you, yeah.
Mm.
So my mom, when she met my dad, I think they met in the city, and I don't think my dad had been honest to say that he's
Of
like in his
course.
village, and he was older. My
Mm.
mom was like 21. He was a much like older guy,
Oh
and
wow.
so when he met my mom, sweet talk, that type of thing, romance. Bam. When my mom ended up pregnant, he was like, yeah, he's ready to take responsibility, not telling my mom that this man is already married with 3 other wives.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's
So
that's a great because
crazy.
yeah,
Mm.
you don't look like where you come from, right?
At
People always
all.
Mhm.
you never
At
know by
all.
looking at people's faces, you cannot tell like there's a story there.
At
Wow.
all.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So anyways, my mom, that her family were, oh, that type of thing, like, oh, cover your shame, go and be with your husband, even though they were sending my mom to be like fourth wife, fifth wife type of situation. So my mom
Yeah.
moved to like my dad's village type of thing
Mhm.
to live with
Mhm.
his other wives, and in the midst of that, I think
Oh
one of
my
them,
god.
I'm telling you, and my mom is like 2021, a city
Mm.
girl being
Child
thrust into like all this polygamy type of carnage.
situation.
And because she was educated and all this there was a lot of jealousy. My mom didn't stay there long with me, to be honest. And I feel like she told my dad that, oh, I want to go and visit my mom, because, they'd been hearing that the war is starting. She wants to go and
Mhm.
take me as a baby to go and see my grandma, her mom. And my dad was refusing. I think maybe he kind of knew that she was planning something, but he
Mhm.
didn't. Eventually she said, oh, she's gonna take me and then she'll be back. And then she took me and she never came back.
Mhm.
That was real 007 moves right there.
Yeah.
Happy.
She took me, and then, as God will have it, the war started, people
Mm.
started, scattering, and all different places. And where they live, like my dad's village, is like one rural place, like, oh my God, so far.
Mhm.
So obviously, with the
Mm.
back then, there's no phone, nobody's calling each
Mhm.
other, there's no text message, all this thing. So with the war, probably he thought, oh, he wouldn't know, which is kind of unfair, because he died not knowing like where I was or what had happened to me. You understand?
Mm.
Yeah, like when I think about
Yeah.
it, sometimes it's quite deep.
Mhm.
Right.
But then I understand the situation that my mom was in, that
Mhm.
actually, if she had stayed there, today maybe I'd be like married with like, I don't know, one old baba somewhere with like
Okay, Baba.
crazy, So I thank
Yeah.
God, yeah. And then
Yeah.
she took the opportunity to, obviously, when they were doing the relief efforts, to move people out of Uganda. And my mom was like, "Yep, I'm gonna go," because she had already met my stepdad at that time, and he's like, "Oh,
Okay.
he's going." She decided to come as well, and that's how they moved to the UK. And the rest, as they say, is history. But yeah, there's there's a lot. So for me, I was kind of, when my mom told me, I was so disappointed, because I'm like, I've known this thing, and it's like, I've asked you, am I adopted? What's going on? And you've lied to me. Like,
Right.
Mhm.
you've lied to me, because I could tell, like, I could tell that, no, there's something not right here. I don't feel. And then the way that my stepdad used to treat me, now when she told me, oh, he's not your dad, blah, 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 but it was him that wanted my mom not to tell me. Yeah.
Oh.
And he was him that wanted me to take his surname, which I do have his surname,
Right.
because he wanted, like, he didn't want that. so the intentions in the beginning was good, but I feel like immediately he started having his own kids with my mom. I don't know at what point the
It
madness entered him
switched.
and and switched. Yeah.
Yeah.
So so it was my mom that was like, he's the one that wanted, he wanted to take you as his own. He didn't want you to be, the kind of the odd one out. But I'm like, but
Right.
me taking his name, but then the way he treated me is like, I mean, what was the difference? To be honest, I was
Yeah.
more of an
Mm-hmm.
outcast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's kind of a little bit, but I
Is
definitely understand where the girls are coming from. Yeah.
right. Definitely
Mm.
giving an insight as to where those girls were coming from. You see,
Yeah.
I wish they didn't involve the cameras. You
Oh
see, I
yeah,
don't even
definitely.
mind the hurtful outbursts towards
Mm.
them,
Do it
but
privately.
yeah, do it
Or
within
one to
yourselves.
one. Like do it one to one.
Exactly. Do it, and nobody's gonna know what happened. At the end of the day, everybody will be all right. But putting it online like that is gonna be there forever.
Yeah. But then you also have
Yep.
to think that even for them, they need to understand that the fact some people are just emotionally vacant. I feel like over time, with through watching different things about, absent fathers, this and that, like I've kind of educated myself that even though I have this pain, maybe he's got his
Mm-hmm.
own issues and I'll never be able to get whatever that father I'm looking for from him is not within him. Do you understand? So
Yes.
Yeah,
it kind of
yeah.
gives me that peace. I can't you can't take something from someone that they've never had put into them.
This is true.
Mm.
This is very
And you
true.
That's
have
true.
to, even if it's a painful truth, it's a painful realization that sometimes you just have to accept. It's either you walk away or you accept the person as they are, even as painful as it is sometimes, that you're not going to get that emotion from him, you're not going to get the love from him, but
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
he's just happy being there, maybe being a financer and kind of being financially state, like, but he will never be able to offer you that emotional connection that you're looking for as somebody who lives in the
Mm-hmm.
abroad. You have a bit more
Mm-hmm.
understanding of, emotional intelligence, emotional connection with parents. A lot of these are parents, then some of them, they're so damaged that it's not possible for them to change at the age that they are. So
Yes.
it's like
Yeah.
you either accept it or you just walk
Mm-hmm.
away. And for
Yeah.
me, I'm
Yeah.
like, nah, it's for my peace of mind. I need to leave that where it is and live my life, and I'm content with that.
Exactly. No,
Mm,
absolutely. You're absolutely right what you just said. Like some people you can't change them,
yeah,
and you
at
have to
all.
get to a
And you
point where
hurt yourself more when you are thinking, oh,
yes.
why? It's like
Yeah.
they're not gonna change. So it's you that
Mm.
has to change.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's you that
Because
has
they
to
can't
change or
give
accept
what
it. They
you
can't
they
give
can't
you
give
at
you.
all.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
Mm.
Man, that's
Yep.
thank you so much, Cynthia, for sharing. That was a
You're
very
welcome.
powerful story. I'm not gonna lie. Just listening to it, like I they watch movie.
Oh no,
I
honestly,
mean,
crazy.
It's really, but it gives me an insight as to how those young girls felt too. So
Yeah.
it's
mm-hmm.
giving me a more empathy for them, but
Yeah.
I'm still not excusing
Well,
their
yeah. No,
behavior.
no, no,
But
definitely
it's
not.
yeah, being content is very important. Yes, Sticky Shack, that is very true. Mirabelle says she admires your outlook on the whole situation. Your perception is self-preserving. Absolutely agree,
Yes, I
100%
agree.
with Mirabelle. Yeah, absolutely. And it's a very, very sound and grounded way. This
Mm-hmm.
self perception that you have is very grounded. That's powerful.
Yes.
And he says you're so right. A lot of our African parents are emotionally unavailable. Absolutely.
Very,
You
So,
can say that
so,
very.
again.
so, okay. Now that you guys said that, remember when I was sharing the story of the comment that this guy made? That's exactly what I
Yes.
mean. The guy is not able to connect with his wife. He's not able
Mm-hmm.
to connect with the fact that as a man married to a woman, your duty is to protect her at all times.
Can
Even
you?
Yeah.
What did you say, Omaye? Is that the story with the police officer? What did you say? Sorry.
yes,
Can you
so this
say
police
again?
officer, she did a video explaining what happened to her, that her boss tried to, you
Mm-hmm.
know, uh, lay hands on her,
Mm-hmm.
carry her forcefully and stuff like that, right?
Okay.
And she told the boss, hey, I'm married, leave me alone. First of all, try to hit on her. And she said, look, I'm
Mm.
married. And the guy was insisting, forced her, was forcing her, and then was trying to force himself on her, and then eventually started laying hands on her physically, right? And
Oh wow.
stripped her naked, right? Based on her story, and then carried a pium pium, right? Pointed
Mhm.
it to her and said, if I delete you here, whatever, whatever, threatened her life. So the
Oh
people who
wow.
heard, some of her colleagues there now, like, heard what was happening, rushed in and grabbed her and rushed her out of the office because they
He
felt
did
like the
this in the
man was going
office
to,
with other people.
yes, the man didn't
Oh
care.
my god.
So now there were bruises on this woman, and somebody was doing a video and she was explaining, was narrating what happened. Now, on the live, they were asking, like people were giving their opinion. One man came in and said, for women, he just thinks that women should just come out outright and say they're married. In my mind, I'm like, you said she was
But he
married.
did say that. Yeah.
So I don't understand. And then the other person that called in said, well, women, they hate each other. They don't like each other. They're always competing with each other. You don't
So what's
know why
all
they
got to do with
detest each
anything?
other. Exactly. I'm like, what does that have to do with this? But anyway, I was waiting for him to
Mhm.
land. And then he said, there's no, because, someone like me that called in, I was like, where is her husband? Why is the husband not getting help? Why is the husband not there to support this woman?
Mm.
She's out there just doing videos frustrated on her own. Why is there no help? So I started saying, the men, please, you guys should start taking accountability for some of these things. You have sisters, you have mothers. If we're really, really wanting our societies to be better, we need to be building healthier families, healthier communities. And I said, you guys need to start talking to your fellow men and
Yeah,
call them out
definitely.
on some of these things. So that
It's
was
like
my
that.
stand.
Yeah, it's like I remember it was a few years ago when I don't know there's that pastor and there's the man that's the gospel singer that stood for his wife.
Yes.
I don't know what
What's
that
her?
story is. I can't remember the story,
Yes.
but that
What's his
man,
name?
the way
Oh,
he stood for his wife,
yeah,
oh, I loved
Bukola.
him.
Thank you,
Yes,
Bukola.
yes, that
Yes,
one.
I forget
That
the.
man, oh, like
Yes, the
yeah,
darling forever in Nigeria.
absolutely,
He's the
absolutely.
darling forever, right?
He
Who
stood
is
for
that?
his wife
This
publicly.
gospel singer. He won
Yeah.
Nigerian Idol.
What's his? Oh, I don't know. I
Temisa.
just
I think
remember
it's
the story.
Temisa. Temisa.
No, is his
I
name
think
Oh,
it's
Timisa?
okay.
I don't know.
yeah,
Oh, I
Temisa.
don't know who
He
that is.
was the first idol in Nigeria. Let me see,
Oh, really?
Temisa. Yeah, he married one Bukola, beautiful girl that was laid hands on by what's it called? Uh, this Abuja big time pastor, his church.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What about
Um,
recently? She even did an interview. It was all over, and people were dragging her,
yes,
saying,
they
"Why
were
did she come
dragging
out?" Oh,
her.
as usual.
Her husband
Man.
stood solidly behind her. People were saying
Mm,
all kinds of things. Yes. So
Yeah.
basically,
okay.
so the guy, this other guy called in and said, oh, well, the women, yes, the women, they don't like each other, da 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 da. So he was saying all of this, like, why do the men, why would the man doesn't have to step in, you know? Man does not, it doesn't involve the man. This is all on women. Where's the women leader? Why are they not stepping in? She's an officer. Totally exonerating the man, like removing the man from a scenario as if the man is not married to his wife. So I wanted to respond to him, but there was no time. So I had to write an episode in the private chat and left it there for him. Hopefully, he sees it. Like, it
Mhm.
worries me because the way he spoke about it, I'm just picturing him with his wife if he's married. Is this how you're going to respond if your wife is found in that kind of scenario? Or if your daughter has some issues, are you just going to remove yourself? I mean, I said this is why children who have been, done things to in our society,
Mm.
nobody protect them. The fathers, is always the mothers are always the mothers that are in the front line receiving
Yeah.
all the attacks and all the questions and everything. Where are the fathers? You understand? So it really bothered me when this guy was responding. I was like, this man is so emotionally disconnected from what this woman is going through that he doesn't feel like he also he has there's something that he needs to do to try and fix the situation. Fine. I don't know the nitty gritty of why the man was not by his wife's side. I don't know the story. There's always a story, a deeper story there. But for crying out loud, this is the woman that has been physically assaulted by another, her own boss. Even if you as a husband does not have the power, go for people who have the power. They have civil rights officers. They have women's leaders. They have many women's affairs ministry. Go there. Go and even if you don't show up, let it be that at least you have spoken on behalf of your wife so that something can happen. But the way he removes the man from like, no, 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 let's not drag the man into this. What if the man is not financially okay? What if he's not one of those strong men? What if his life is going to be threatened? Maybe the wife is even protecting the man. There were all sorts of excuses. And it bothered me. Like, the men need to stand up for their communities. It's not just about carry wine and having multiple girlfriends and having wives and then marrying 3 and 4 and joining and coming out to say I'm now married to 40 women. Use that energy correctly. Our communities are in need of building. So I mean, it bothered me. It really, really bothered me. I hope I have the opportunity to talk face to face with that guy because it speaks a lot to the mindset. This is why women are suffering in where we come from. This is the reason why nobody's standing up for them. Nobody, it's ridiculous. It's heartbreaking. Not just ridiculous, it's heartbreaking. Honestly. So that's where that story came from, Mirabel. They're emotionally unavailable because they never experienced emotional availability from their upbringing. Absolutely. Can you guys hear me? Neka, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Cynthia, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. And then yeah, absolutely, Mirabel. Yeah, emotionally, yes. They never had it, right? So they're used to that. They're brutal. I'm telling you, it kind of bothered me. Like, so why are they marrying these men that are so emotionally removed? Why? I mean, what's the connection? I don't understand. They're brutal. There was no empathy for this woman. It bothered me, guys. I'm not gonna lie. It bothered me because I remember growing up in Nigeria and being in college. I didn't know that we're protected. They will say, "I know, sis, don't come this way again. No, this is not very safe. Make sure you don't come this way so time." Sometimes I'm getting and maybe I'm trying to get into public transport, and I get in. The guys will make room for you, give you space. They'll give up their space for you. Come on. It bothers me like this men have no empathy. It's so removed. The way they talk about women as though they are, and then the man said, until women rise up by themselves and come face to face and deal with the situation themselves, then nobody's going to pay attention. I was weak. And women are marrying these men. I understand that women have to stand up. That part, absolutely.
But men also need to call out other men for this type of behavior. Yeah. Do you know in the UK they launched this thing, I think it was like a few years ago. They launched, so sometimes they run these campaigns like drink safe, aware and stuff like that, like adverts on TV. So there's a particular one that came out and it was specifically targeted at men, kind of holding other men accountable. So it's a scenario where I think a group of guys are leaving the club and there's a girl, I think maybe she's at the bus stop.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it. I think I've heard about it, but I haven't seen it.
So there was a girl at I think she's, group of guys are coming out of a pub or a bar, boys all together, rowdy.
Mm-hmm.
Then the lady is on her own and one of the group breaks away and, starts going to kind of like a harass the girl, like, oh, give me your number, you look nice, this, and she's you can see she's uncomfortable, but the other group of guys, they're not saying anything. So one of the guys it kind of gives him like an out of body experience. One of the guys in the group, it kind of is like, it's like his conscience comes to him and saying, like, if you see your friends doing this, call out your friend.
Mhm.
So when he's looking, he can see that the girl is uncomfortable. The guy starts like, kind of pulling the girl, saying, "Oh, why are you being moody? Why are you not giving me your number?" Then his friend in the advert, he kind of shouts, "Oh, hey, stop!" And like
Mm.
tells his friend like, "Stop." And then obviously his friend's like, "Oh, I was only joking. I was only joking." He's like, "No, you don't do that." Like calls out his friend there and then. And then his friend, kind of, so it was kind of an advert targeted towards men, so that
Right.
a lot of men, they stand by, they see their boys behaving in this disgusting way, and they won't say anything. They'll just they'll
it
see their friends grabbing a woman in a club. They will not say nothing, but they will inside them. They know that it's wrong because it was during like it was like giving voices in the guy like, "Oh no, that's not right. Like, guys, stop doing that. Like, leave her alone." In his head, he's shouting it, but he's not saying anything with his mouth. Do you understand? Until eventually,
Mm-hmm.
he kind of snaps to him. It's a really good advert that they did, and it was just kind of telling guys that when you see this type of behavior from your friends, speak up. Don't allow your boys to think that it's okay to do these type of things.
Exactly.
When they see women out, they'll grab you inappropriately. Like, for example, we have the carnival here, and it's like a big street party. So if you guys don't know, obviously Canada, maybe in America, it's called Notting Hill Carnival. It's a
Right.
Caribbean.
I've heard about that.
Yeah, and it's very rowdy. And when I used to go as a teenager, you'll be wearing your shorts, you'll be wearing your whatever you're wearing. It's not even about what you're wearing. The way that the boys will just be touching you, they'll grab you, they'll want to grab your breast, and other boys that come from good homes, boys with sense, with at least decorum. They should be calling
Mm-hmm.
they should be calling their boy and being like, "Guy, no, don't grab her." They'll stand by and say nothing. So for me, it's like if you stand by and say nothing, you're just as good as those people that behave in that way. You're all
Exactly.
classed the same, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yes,
You're
you're an
all classed the
enabler. That's
same.
what it
Yeah.
means.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're enabling that behavior because you're co-signing it with your silence.
Exactly, in your silence. And the guy's name is Timmy Dakolo. I just thank you very much, Fab
Exactly.
Stoli and Chicky Shack. Thank
Yeah,
you
that
so
was the
much.
guy. That's the
Yeah.
guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
that's
Yeah,
what I mean. Like,
now I know.
But they should
yeah.
start calling out, if guys call, because sometimes guys do things that they think, oh, they think they're being funny so that their boys can give them like, "Oh yeah, you're the man, you're the man." But most times, actually, other guys are also uncomfortable, but they don't say anything. Maybe because they feel like, oh, they don't want to be the one maybe to stop the cruise, to stop the good time. But really, I feel like there are a lot more men that are actually, when they see certain behaviors, they don't call out their boys because I feel like they're just trying to, I don't know, it's like maybe they're trying to, like, they don't want to cause a scene, or they don't want to
Mm-hmm.
be the one kind of dead, like dampening the mood or dampening the vibe that everybody's on.
It's
But
wrong. It's
it's
wrong
wrong.
because
It's wrong. Yeah.
guess what though? I mean, growing up, that's what kind of things I grew up experiencing. Like guys used to step in for you. Like if somebody is
Yeah.
talking to you and walks up, and somebody would just come up and say, "Are you okay? Waiting the apple for
No,
you.
not
Waiting the apple.
anymore.
You do okay?" I experienced that growing up, but now it really frightened me the way this guy responded. And unfortunately I have to say I've seen it in some of our men, Nigerian men. They're very cold. They don't even
Yeah.
realize that they're cold because they're so used to being that way. They're emotionally disconnected from you as a woman. So when they're with you, they're just with you to satisfy their own personal whatever it is, right? But they don't care so much about your needs. Not so much about your needs. They just care about what you're gonna give. It bothers me. That response was a bother to me. I was like, wait a minute. If it was your own wife, if it was your daughter, I grew up with a father who had a pium pium in the house for hunting and the real thing. And he used to do security. They used to come together as men and secure the place when they had issues of people coming, armed robbery situations and all that. These were working men. They will in the night they will come and stand guard. You understand? So it bothers me to discover that this man, they were the woman. This woman was assaulted by an officer
In the
where
office
she
with other
works.
people. Like, what the hell? Oh,
You
that's outrageous.
Exactly. And then on top of it, you're blaming her and you're saying that the man does not have, there's no role. He doesn't have, they should leave the man alone. I beg. That is a woman. Women are jealous of each other. Women, that's not the issue. We know as women we have problems that we need to address. We know as women we need to stand up. How many times have I said here, like, in Nigeria, I've been waiting for women the streets should shut down. When Sylvester Oromoni, when that thing happened to him, if prior to Sylvester, the one that goes to Deeper Life Church, I was expecting the entire country to shut down for that little boy. Nothing happened. They just moved on as though nothing happened. So many like that. What are we turning into? So what's the point of marrying? And women will marry such cold-hearted men and they start blaming. They will not come out and be crying. To me, it doesn't make sense. Because if a man is not connected, if you don't feel the connection with a man, why are you wasting your time?
Yeah.
It's even dangerous for you to have a child by such a man. Because you're going
because I
to
think
rear the same children.
I think somebody wrote in the comment that they've never been hugged by their parent. This is the type of people that are having kids when they're not even.
Some
There's
of
no.
them have not experienced that kind of affection, right?
Mm,
So they don't even know what it feels like. They only do it maybe, okay, it's time to have babies. Let's just do. Or let me hold you.
That's
There's
very
nothing like
true.
holding hands or having conversations and talking about your future and address. We have a huge problem in our community. Honestly,
Yeah.
it's not just voting the right person. I'm sorry. The society alone, there's a major problem. The men are marrying for the wrong reasons. The women are marrying for the wrong. The woman will say, okay, you're toasting me, right? The woman will say, okay, you're talking to me. Okay, do you have money? Do first scan your pockets. Okay, because you have money, you don't give a damn about the woman. You're like, all she's after is my money anyway. So let me just get what I can from her. So guess what? User join user. And people will now join together. And then maybe if you guys keep seeing each other, you now get pregnant. What kind of child are you going to give birth to? Please tell me. What kind of child? You see why our society is the way it is? So imagine a repetition of that in almost every household. So you have a society full of broken children that will become broken adults that we are seeing today. And the problem is some of our people don't even want to learn certain patterns. They come from wherever they're coming from and want to remain in that same old, not changing, not backing down. It don't break if you don't bend. There is not, the only thing that's constant is change. If you're not willing to change, they just remain in the forest, in the bush, and be using the chewing stick to brush your teeth and don't engage with the world. And you're not serious because I don't understand. What is now the enticement to be married? What is the enticement to want to be with a man? Forget
Because
about
even that video, the lady they mentioned that they want to do counseling. That's even a good solution to try and work on your marriage. Because I mean, just because somebody cheats in a marriage, for me, obviously, I think different people, but in a marriage, I feel like even if there's what's it called, infidelity, there's still you can still work through it if both parties are willing to work for it. So counseling is a good step and a good suggestion. But because of the way the guy is, he's not even receptive to going to counseling to work on his issues. He's not, because of probably how he's been brought up. They don't want to talk about their feelings. They don't want other people to know their business. And even with my parents, I remember my mom said, oh, she even told my dad that she wants them to go for counseling because he has some kind of a complex about her, with all the accusations that he was making. Where's it coming from? So, but he refused. He said never. Why would he go? He has a problem, but he doesn't want to go and seek help for that problem. That's the problem in the community as well with men. So it's an African, and we're Ugandan, so it's not a Nigerian thing. It's an African, even in Asian communities, Indian community, it's the same thing. Like men have a problem with talking about their emotions. That's why for me, with my son, I have made it my duty to make sure that my son he's emotionally like aware and emotionally intelligent from the age
Yeah.
from young. He's encouraged to
Mhm.
express his feelings. He's encouraged to talk about his feelings. If you're
Mhm.
upset, tell me what's the problem. Use your words and tell me. Don't go and sit in one corner, being quiet, being grumpy, and you're not
Mhm.
saying anything. I encourage him and my daughter because it's so important, especially for boys, because they're always told, oh, boys shouldn't have emotion, boys shouldn't cry. It's okay to cry.
Mhm.
But why can't you cry? What's your tear ducts for then? If it's not to make tears.
No, seriously, we need this thing is,
You have
we
to start it from now because I feel like the older generation, they're already. It's only if the person within themselves want to do the work,
right.
then fantastic. Because I think I was on Auntie, on Obodo Oibo TV with Auntie B. I think one of the brothers that come on the show, I think his uncle Ade, he said when he got to America, I believe like some of the way that he was brought up, he made a decision to change that himself as a mature person
Exactly.
because he didn't want his family, he didn't want to have the same upbringing, the same kind of damage that he had in his childhood, bring it in his family. But it's not every man that is self aware to do that. That's
I
the
know.
problem.
That's the problem.
That's the
And
problem.
that's where we're in the situation we're in. Even Samolu came from
Yeah.
Nigeria, saw that, man, the way I do things is not going to work for me. I'm going to break this woman because she's working so hard, right? Guess what? He learned how to cook on social media. He shared it with us that day now on Obodo Yibo. He shared
Yes, I remember.
these things are very. I don't, if you choose, okay, if you really want to be with a woman and you have chosen this woman I want to be with, correct, right? You both agree. You work together. If you're so disconnected that you don't even, when the woman is in pain, you don't know. You're like, she's in pain. No, I don't understand. You are like in another world, somewhere
Mm,
else. Meanwhile, maybe
mm,
you go and drink beer with your friends. You don't care. It doesn't make sense. So you don't have children and bring children into that type of union. Tell me how those children can be normal. Situation we have in our hands right now, it is a
mhm,
very, very dangerous one because broken parents are raising broken children. There's no love. There are people who've never been hugged before, don't know
mhm,
what it feels, you don't understand their emotions, don't understand
mm,
what affections mean because they never
mm.
saw it. And then when the parents maybe migrate or whatever, they don't see, we have a great culture. Please, let me just say this. We have a great culture. There are things that are terrible in our culture that we should not hold on to dear life,
Yeah.
that we need to trash. The ones that are good, that are working for us, let's hold on to it. Sometimes you hear men say, oh, when these women come to America, oh, I married her, brought her to America, she changed. I married her. But how were you to her? Because you
Mm.
marry her, you expect her to be like the way she is in Nigeria. You want to continue, but you forget that this woman is going to you, even you that you are living, you are exposed. You think the woman is not going to be exposed? Oh, she's in a different environment. Why do we do this to ourselves? We knock each other
Yeah.
down when we are all we've got. What is so hard? You see that, oh my goodness, you know what? This things are done here differently. Let me adjust. Traditional, the man, tradicoco. You really say traditional man. The man is the one who cooks his meals at home. Wait for anybody
Mm.
to cook it. He will go in the kitchen. He will even ask when you come to visit, I want to make a goosey soup. Do you want to eat? Right? So
But
okay,
even
let
things,
me make it.
even things like that, I hate when people is like women give men praise. I'm not gonna praise you for doing something that you should. It's a bare minimum. Why shouldn't you
Exactly.
cook your own food? I'm not, and
Mhm.
like sometimes I'll see posts online when a man is looking after their child. Oh my God, what a wonderful father! Is it not his child? Like
Exactly.
I don't
He's changing
understand
his
those type
diaper.
of
You are praising
yeah, I
him.
don't understand that type of praise for it's your child, isn't it? So if the child has got needs to be changed, the man is carrying the child in the baby carrier. You'll see women in the comments like, "Oh my God, this is like
You have
let's
a
not."
good man. You have a
Yeah,
great
so why
man.
is that a good
My
man? That's not
goodness.
a good man. He's doing what he should be doing because that's his child. I'm not gonna
But
give you a bone,
Cynthia,
give you a
you
golden
won't blame
star.
Cynthia. You can't you won't blame them. You know
No,
why? Because they've always said it's always been the woman's job. You know where we come from. Like, okay, the woman takes care of the kids, and they didn't see it as a like both sides should be doing it.
yeah,
It's never been.
but even in the UK, I've got a colleague who is the husband is, because I work in HR, so the husband is taking paternity leave. And
Mm-hmm,
now, so in the UK, you're allowed to split your paternity with your husband. So he can take
mm-hmm,
6 months and the wife can take 6 months because it's 12 months. So the husband is going to be home with the son for six
mm-hmm.
months as a technically house husband. He's
Yeah.
taking his paternity leave. He's going to be doing everything with the baby. Nobody is giving him pat on the back for that. That's what you should do. It's your child. I'm not gonna
Exactly.
give
I
you a gold.
agree.
I'm not gonna give you a gold star and like a lollipop because you're looking after your child. And I feel like if women we stop giving men like props for things that should be a natural thing. Like I'm not gonna. My son, he helps me in the kitchen. I'm not gonna be clapping and making him feel like what he's doing is so out of the ordinary. It's a no. It's a normal thing. You need to
I,
eat. Okay, you need
I
to learn how to cook.
I don't praise anybody for that because
It's not right.
we that's how both of us we should be doing this. I don't praise any man for doing like some people, like they'll back their baby or they'll carry the baby and be, petting the baby. And people, oh, that's so cute. You have a good husband. I say, hey, by me, okay. If you say so.
Yeah, no. Like, if the baby's crying, I'm busy. Hello, babe. Come on, hold the baby. If you want to stand, some babies they will make you stand. When you sit down, they start crying. You have to
Mm-hmm.
stand.
Uh-huh.
If you want to be doing that, you can do that. But if you want to try backing, okay, try backing. But I'm not
Mhm.
gonna this thing of like I feel like sometimes when men do the absolute bare minimum, us women we glorify them like, hey, oh my god, they're
Exactly, my
really
sister.
doing. So it's like
Hey, he did this.
it's ridiculous to me. I see a lot on like TikTok where they have those videos with the man will be cooking and then they'll say, "Oh, as your mother-in-law is coming, you'll see the woman will grab the baby from the man,
Oh
sit
my
that." I mean,
God.
it's funny, but it's not funny because it's really what people think. If
You
my
see,
mother, when I had my son, my mum, we live in the UK, but my mum came over to the house to help me, kind of like an omugo. So she was in my house for like a month, helping me with my son, like bathing him, all that kind of stuff. That's what she did. And my son's dad at the time, my son, he'll wake up, get breakfast. He was doing normal stuff. Like my mom is not saying, "Hey, oh my God, he's such a wonder." She's just thinking, "Okay, he's been raised well." Like we live in the UK. I can't be doing everything. And at a point when my son was going to nursery, he will drop Kendrick, my son, to he'll drop my son to school, like nursery. I'll pick him up. I'm not gonna give him claps. It's because that's what's working. And I feel like a lot of the time,
Exactly.
women will be praising men for doing the bare minimum.
Let me tell
But
you, yeah, the truth
it's
is this.
ridiculous. It's sick.
It's ridiculous because even me as my own father cooked. I grew up seeing my father cook and bath us and clean the floor. My dad will clean you'll be seeing your face. My dad cooks better than my mom. He cooked better than my mom. He cleaned better than my mom.
It's
No
true.
jokes. My dad would, if my dad is when it's time to pound yam, you see pounded yam. You see that mortar and pestle. My papa go pound the yam for all of us to eat. He go cook the soup. So I don't get it when I start to see these men who claim that they are cultural men, they are traditional. My dad was a traditional man. The house. He was the one that was making the money at the time, but he was still where you getting this mindset from?
I'll praise my
There's
husband
a
though.
real man who stands for his family first and protect his family. Come
Absolutely.
rain, come shine. What is this? I go to my brother's house. The guy is cooking. He will cook. After cooking, you go and bath the kids and put them to sleep. He's married. They've been married for over 10, 15 years now. Please, what are we doing to ourselves? It is
Yeah.
ridiculous. I mean, sometimes you wonder, where are they getting all these rules? You're a human being and a human being. We are learning this life together. Why
Yeah.
don't you make life easy for me and make life this
Absolutely.
is
So,
supposed to
Omea, let me
be?
tell you a story. Let me tell you a quick story. So, one of my friends, yeah, she works. Both of them work. Her husband is like an engineer, and she works like retail manager. So normally, her job will make her. Sometimes she'll have to work late in the evening, and she works in like a really big department store in London, and it closes late. So sometimes during the week, she'll travel back later than the husband. So he'll pick up their boys and they're still little, they're like 1 and 3, so they go nursery. So the husband, though, they manage themselves, and he's very like he's not this traditional type of man. He does
Right,
his 50-50. They run their household how they choose to, which works for them, right?
right.
So one time when I was over, we were all discussing, and then he was telling us a story. He was like, "Oh, do you know that one time, there's people like in his friendship group, there was a guy that he stopped speaking to because the guy used to call him in the evening. So when like his wife is out, he will be making comments like, oh, so if he comes over to the house and the wife is not there and he's the one, looking after the boys, he'll be making comments like, oh, so your wife is out and you're here looking after the boys, those type of comments. So 1 or 2 times he kind of like like, will she not go out, like, try to joke it off, like she's gone out with her friend, it's like a birthday, that type of thing. And he's a very like chill guy. So he would just kind of brush it off. But he was thinking like, this guy, why is he asking making these weird comments? Do you understand? So one time we were all out together for her birthday. So I surprised her with another friend. We took her out and I arranged with her husband. I said, oh, we're going to do this, this, this. And the funny thing is we actually arranged and we went to the Davido concert when he came to London. But yeah, so she had to stay away for overnight. So this man came to the house and he used to call the husband at a certain time. And that time is when he normally puts the boys to bed. He like bathing them, putting them to bed. So every time when he calls, he will tell him like, oh guy, like, I'm just bathing the boys. Let me get them settled into bed. Then I'll call you back later. Then he was like, oh, why is it you're the one putting, he was telling his friend like, oh, do you know that it's really bad that your wife will leave you to be looking after, like to be putting your boys to bed, where's your wife type of thing, that. He was saying, where's the husband's wife, why is she out, and he's the one putting the children to bed. And the guy just lost it and he said, listen, don't ever call my phone and start telling me, are these not my children? He had a go at him. Yeah, he had a massive go. And from that day, him and the guy, they stopped speaking. Because it's like, this guy's been hinting. And if you're that type of guy that you're an insecure person, a person like that will now start dropping those seeds like, oh, why is your wife out and you're the one looking after the children? Why is your wife outside and you're the one cooking in your house? And they'll start feeding you this information that will start making you feel like, oh, that your wife is emasculating you. All the while you and your wife are just working, because this is how this country is. I can't be coming back at 8 o'clock and you're sitting there looking at me, waiting for me to bath the kids, waiting for me to cook dinner. You do your part, I do my part. Do you understand? Because we work in unison together. Yeah, so my friend's husband dropped that guy, gave him a good telling off, good piece of news. And I said, listen, you've been saying this rubbish, and I've been, because he called before at that time and he told him, listen, I'm putting the boys to bed, I want to bath them. And he keeps calling at that time when he knows that the guy is, So he said, I've been noticing that you're doing it it's like you're doing it on purpose. Do you understand? I'm trying to like provoke something from him. So yeah. I just feel like sometimes some people, their mindset is just like, and this man that's talking, is he married? No. Does he have children? No. Does he have wife? No. So what's your business?
Cynthia, sorry, I'm laughing because you are sounding very Nigerian. You know what? You be Nigerian girl now. From now on, no more. Cynthia, will you treat you like one?
Bad influence.
Don't be bad influence. So,
We're
No,
adopted now.
honestly,
We're
yeah. I think my
adopting with our
is
Nigerian sister.
is ridiculous. Yeah, so the guy was talking all that talk. You don't even have a family, and you're putting your mouth in somebody's relationship on the family setup that is working for them. What's it your bloody business?
Exactly.
Because you have a
Working
perception of
for
what a
them.
man should be doing.
Exactly. Concept.
Stupid.
That's what's killing us right now. Concept. You see other people's way of doing it. You're like, it has to be like that too. You create your home the way it works for you. If
Exactly.
it is that okay, oh, this is your role that you're doing and it's working for both of you, it doesn't concern anybody. This is the
That's
problem we're
all.
having because guess what? If I did not grow up in a home where my parents were hands-on, my dad was hands-on, this whole macho African man, I probably would have been saying, okay, maybe it's true. They are normal. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying my dad was a perfect man. No. Hell no, that's far from it. I'm saying that the things that I'm saying that are problematic, people can't even to a man, the man will be telling you he's emotionally disconnected and they don't even know, they don't realize it. They're unconsciously, because they're being that way, they don't even realize they're like that. You
Exactly.
know, why would you? Okay, so now what's the enticement to get married? What's the enticement to get married? What's the point of getting married to go and receive punishment for 10 years, for 15 years, however long? No, please make it make sense. What is the enticement? Do you understand? Because you're supposed to come into each other's life to make it easy
Please,
for
I
each
want
other.
somebody. I still want somebody to cuddle at night.
Understand? For you to cuddle with ease now, you will not be cuddling with headache. You'll be cuddling with ease. It's not supposed to be like that.
Absolutely.
You're supposed to
Absolutely.
each your hand, you're supposed to use your right hand. One hand cannot wash by itself now, right? You need the
Exactly.
other hand. If the two
Yeah.
hands, imagine if you're washing your hands and your hand is quarreling with the other hand. You see how difficult it will be to be punching each other. No, it's not supposed to be like that. If we choose to be in each other's lives, we must be each other's peace. If we cannot at least be that, then we have no business being together. You need
Yeah.
to understand when you're in pain, you need to empathize and say, oh my God, she's in pain. Understand? You don't know how this
I
pain
feel like I
feels.
feel like even I feel like as people get into relationships, the only way that it can start changing is when people start having conversations and trying to direct how they want their relationships to be. So for example, when you meet somebody, like I can give myself an example. When I met my partner now, he's a Yoruba guy. He's very traditional in a sense, but at the same time, he's also understands that he's very much in a Western country. So there's
Right.
some of the mindsets, some of the things that maybe worked for his parents. He knows that that's not how he's gonna run his home, but then there's some things that he's gonna still do. Yeah,
Yeah.
which is fine. But then at the same time, I'm somebody who he always calls me British girl or British woman. You're like like queens,
Mm-hmm.
whatever type of thing. Yeah, because I've lived here. I'm not. I've never lived in Africa, and we always have that kind of banter between ourselves. But at the same time, I've told him this is what I'm looking for. This is the type I want somebody, I want you to be able to communicate. So in the beginning of our relationship, he used to do things like he wouldn't say what was the issue. And I know obviously because maybe I'm a little bit more aware of these things, it's something that I made a point to him to identify early on. And I said, listen, babe, I've noticed that when we have this issue, I say this thing to you, but you're not giving me an answer. Or you're not giving me, you just say, okay, but it's not really that it's okay. It's something that is brewing inside you. And then
Yeah.
later on, you'll bring it up, which is, I think a lot of African men do this. They don't know, because they don't know how to communicate and express themselves. So I feel like in having that discussion with him, I was able to tell him, like, look, this is what I've identified that you need to work on. And when you work on this thing, it's only going to help our relationship because I need to be able to communicate with you. I need you to
Exactly.
tell me what is the issue. If we have an issue, let's talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then he told me, and now he's like, oh, he's so good with it. But it's like he told me, oh, in my previous relationship, we never, he was with a Nigerian lady. He's like, we didn't. There was no there was no communication. This is what was lacking in the relationship. They had their problems, but each person will just be having their own thing. Nobody's saying what the issue is. They wouldn't address it. And then maybe the woman is not identifying it and he's not going to bring it up because he just feels that there's no point in bringing it up. So I feel like it's also your responsibility when you get in a relationship, don't just take people on you need to start on a clean slate. Start putting your own rules and regulations and drive the course of. And if there are things that you see that maybe the other person is not too good on, you need to bring it up. Give them pointers on what they need to do to work so that it suits you as a person. Because what he's been doing with his ex and how they've been managing their relationship, that's not going to work for me because I'm Cynthia.
Exactly.
And what I want and what I require from you is different to what Janet wanted from you. Do you understand? So I feel like you need to tailor. We need to start. I think it's like you need to start tailoring the guy or your relationship and putting out, identifying what you want and laying it out very early on so that even if the guy is lacking in an area or even yourself, you can start to work on it so that it doesn't become a problem.
Right. So here's another thing that came up, right? As Cynthia was talking now, I just remembered. So I was having a conversation with someone, and the person asked me a question like, can you date someone when they don't have a job, and they're not making any income whatsoever? And I said, well, I cannot just start off dating someone that doesn't have a job from the jump, is not making any income. Why would I want to do that? First and foremost, if he's a man, right? Men and money, right? A man wants to feel like he's able to, at least do some things for you, right? Why would I want to take that power away from him? Why would I want to deprive him of the ability to hunt? You understand what I'm saying? So I explained to her, I said, well, I wouldn't just from the jump intentionally out with someone or be with someone that I know is not financially, who doesn't have any means, any means of making money at all, taking care of himself, because I'm even making it worse for him. I'm gonna be. Well, how would that make me feel? Because I'll have some level of empathy for the man that, okay, you don't have it yet, and I don't want to make you feel like because I have it, right? You're looking at it a certain way. Can you guys hear me? Neka, what
Yes,
happened?
I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, okay.
I was just trying
So,
to
oh, okay. What
get
happened to
ready.
Cynthia?
Oh, she probably
Her
dropped.
connection, maybe. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, what are your thoughts on that?
On, I didn't hear you.
Oh, I just said that I had a conversation with a friend. She was asking if I would be with someone who does not
Mm-hmm.
make any income, who's not making any money at all. If I could date knowing that that person doesn't have any source of income. I said, why would I
Ah,
want to do that to a
why
man?
would why would
First and
you want to do
foremost,
that?
exactly. It will be, he's a man, right? The men are hunters. Forget it.
Yeah.
That's a natural thing, right? Men are hunters.
Mm-hmm.
That's a given right. Why would I want to take that away from them? Because if I come in and become a savior, right, for lack of
Mm-hmm.
better words, and I start to sort out bills, take care of this and all that, even the man himself in his mind, he won't tell me, oh, but he will tell his
Mm-hmm.
friends, like, I can't
Yeah,
be with this girl. Mm-mm." He will make him feel less than, even though I'm not making him feel less than. So I would
that
not
kind
just
of
go ahead.
situation can cause resentment.
Exactly.
And definitely cause I wouldn't want to do that. No, that's not. I don't think that's a good thing to do.
I didn't think so either. So, oh, she said drop a link. Okay, let me drop the link again. Um,
I'm about to start. I'm about to. I'll be listening in. I
okay,
need
no
to
worries. Thank you.
get some people to bed.
Oh, okay, yeah, absolutely. Tell them Auntie says good night. Thank you so much for co-hosting. I appreciate you
I will. Thank
greatly.
you.
Oh, my
Thank you
sister,
for
thank you
having me.
so much. I appreciate you. I love you. We'll
Love
see you
you.
again.
Thank you so much. All right then, but I'll be listening till
Okay,
the end. All right then.
sure. Thank
Good night.
you.
All right.
Good night.
Bye.
Mirabelle, darling, good night. Thank you for being here with me. I really appreciate you. My sister, my sister. Love you, love you, love you. Uh-oh, it disconnected you again. Try it again. Cynthia. Okay, you're in. Yeah.
I'm
Sorry,
back.
I said that what happened to Cynthia? The thing just cut
Oh,
off. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, I don't
Okay.
know what happened. Gosh.
Yeah. So what I was saying was I was saying to Neka. So
Mm.
I was having a conversation with a friend of mine earlier on this week, and she asked me a pointed question and said, "Hey, can you date somebody who's not making any money from the jump, who you know doesn't
Oh,
have any
hell no.
source of income or whatever from the jump, blah blah blah?" So I said, "Wait, he's a man. Why would I want to do that to him? It's not even about me because I'll be right. I would not intentionally just start going out with a man that I know doesn't have something in hand. It won't do him any favors. And I don't want to feel like I'm a savior to the person. If I were the man, I wouldn't even want to date anyone because I'm not financially secure yet, meaning I don't have anything coming
Absolutely.
in. Why would I want to do that
Absolutely.
to anyone? Even as a woman, I wouldn't want to date a guy when I don't have any work because I don't want to feel like I'm depending on him or feel obligated when he does any. I don't want to do that. So why would I
Absolutely.
want to be in a relationship,
Honestly, for me, it's one of the most unattractive traits in a man. Somebody that is jobless and you have the audacity to want to date. My friend,
Right.
dating is not your priority. Find a job.
Exactly.
Find a job. And
Exactly.
I said this to I had this similar conversation with a guy before, like on a day, like I was talking to somebody like on these dating, like getting to know the person. And I
Hmm.
think he asked me, I mean, we had a similar conversation, and I said to him, a guy who I just basically said, a guy that's not working, your priority is not to date. He was telling me, "Oh, how can you say that? Does it mean that the person does not deserve love?" I said, "What are you talking about? This is not a
Exactly.
love. It's not a love thing. Your focus should not be on trying to. I mean, what are you offering the person? What are you offering? Like, I don't get it. What are you offering the person
I have no idea because
in
first,
2022? Do
mhm,
you know this economy that we're living in? Yeah, the, the
the
fuel
Western
the
economy.
Western economy that I'm living in currently,
Mm,
yeah, I'm going out, I'm working. On top of my work, I have side hustle, right? And I'll
exactly.
now I've got my own kids, I've got my own home. I'll now waste time to
Thank
date
you.
somebody who's jobless, one. And this is not jobless in Nigeria, where maybe, but even I don't care where you are. There's no reason why a man should be not doing anything. And you have the audacity to want to be laying up in a woman's house to be offering what? You're only offering what do you guys call it? Bola. That's all you're offering.
Bola
Nah,
for free.
no.
Can lay the
Oh,
pipe down properly. Mm, for
you
some
know, that's what
women.
they say. A lot of these broke guys, that's their because they've perfected the art of kerewa because they're jobless. They don't have nothing that they're doing. So at least it should be good in that area. And that's why a lot of women, you'll see them with these broke ass guys, and they'll be like, oh no, but the Karawa is amazing. Yeah, because he's got all day to be perfecting that. He's not doing nothing. But for me, Cynthia, no, sorry. I'm not dating a guy that is jobless, one. I'm not dating a guy with no prospects. No. And even to a certain you also need to be earning a certain amount because there's certain things that at this I'm already able to acquire for myself. I don't see why I should pair up with somebody that's not able to give me what I'm able to give myself or even more. That's not
Right.
a gold. It's not a gold digging mentality. It's just that I feel like people should start dating within their tax bracket. If you're under
Right.
that tax bracket, because men that start dating you when you're living a certain lifestyle or you're doing certain things, and they're under that, you're now feeling a type of way. But then it's like, why are you trying to chase something that is not within your? It's not something that you're able to manage financially. It does, and then you'll
Right.
be oppressing a woman, saying, "Oh, she's doing too much. Oh, she shouldn't be taking this holiday. Oh, she shouldn't be buying this thing." No, but she's been living her life how she's been living before she met you, and now
Mm-hmm.
you want her to like. I don't understand it. Save everybody stress and just find a job. Leave love. Love is not your priority. Broke men don't deserve love. They don't deserve dates. Period.
Okay, Cynthia
Period.
has said it all.
And women as well. If you're a broke woman and you're not doing nothing, your priority is not dating anybody.
Exactly.
Because I
That's
have a
how I
son, and I
feel.
wouldn't want my son to go and be dating somebody. So my daughter's in university now, and now she started talking to like boys are interested in her, whatever, but she's very focused on her books, so she doesn't even have the time for them. But she was
Mhm.
telling me that there's this boy that likes her, and he's taking her out like on a few dates and stuff, and he's very interested. But she's like, "Mom, this boy, like, he's a nice person, but actually, what are his prospects? He doesn't attend lectures. Okay, he's already saying that he
Mm.
doesn't he's not he's in second year. He's saying he's not sure about his course anymore. He doesn't know if he wants to continue at university." And my daughter's looking at him like, hello. So if a 19-year-old is able to apply and see that this guy has got no prospects, she's not going to waste time. Like, what are you going to talk about if you're not at university, if you're not doing anything?
Mm-hmm.
And she'll ask him, are you going to get like a part-time job? Because even though she's at uni, she's working part-time. And
Mm-hmm.
this guy, he doesn't work part-time, but he always has money. So I'm like,
Hey,
are you sure
where's
that
he
he's
seeing the
making,
money? Oh?
where does he get money from? So my daughter's like, Mom, I'm not interested anymore. Like, I've got the ick. She said, I've got the ick. You know, the new generation, everything's the ick. So if somebody that's 19 starting their life is able to identify what am I as a grown woman with my own responsibilities, that I want somebody to come and lighten my load, I'll
I'm
be taking
telling
on another burden. That's a
you
burden
know,
for me.
it's a
Nah,
burden.
I'm not doing it.
Exactly. I personally
No.
think that it's not either way, man or woman. If you are not have you don't you're not making anything financially, Cynthia, you just said it. Your priority is not should not be dating.
At
It should be
all.
trying to secure your bag. So that way you don't feel like you're taking anything away from anyone. Nobody feels like they're losing anything. Hold your own, because at the end of the day, right? Everybody, what you did the person, and then when the person acts or says something or does something that you feel you cannot financially match, you start to feel a kind of way about it. It
Yeah,
doesn't
because
make any
when
sense.
people start oppressing you or making you feel like, as a woman, maybe like living here, let's say, because I can only equate it to, let's say if I'm dating a guy who's not got a job, who's not working, he doesn't have a
Mm-hmm.
job, doesn't maybe he's living, I don't know, he's living with his mom or whatever. Me now, as somebody who lives in my own home, I've got my own comfort. I want to be able to go to my man's house, right? So
Exactly.
how are we gonna navigate this brokenness of your dating with me who's working, has a certain type of, like, I'm living my life a certain type of way currently. I'm now gonna join with you. You've not got anything going on. And I'm now gonna have to, it's like, okay, we're gonna go on dates. You don't have money. Who's paying? Am I paying? I'm not paying. I'm not paying. So where are you getting the money from? Okay,
Cynthia,
I
no
want to
send
go.
anybody
No,
papa
I
message.
want.
Oh, you
I'm
better
just trying
come
to.
with the bag.
I'm trying to understand how these people will navigate the relationship. Okay, you don't drive, so this is one thing I don't. Me personally, I don't like if I'm driving and my man is not driving. It's just no. I can't go and pick up my man from his house to be sitting in the passenger side of my car. No, it's just a massive turn off for me. I'm sorry, it's very petty. It's
Yeah.
very petty. I'd rather we both not drive, but I can't do that thing of coming to pick you up and you'll be jumping in my car and I'll be driving and you'll be sitting there on the passenger side doing what? Holding your wallet. Come on. What are you doing? It's just it's very, it's no. So I don't understand how I will be able to navigate such a relationship, because I have certain things that I like to do. I like to travel. I like to, go away for short weekends. I want to maybe go for dinner once in a while, certain restaurants that come out that look nice in London or wherever. So if I'm wanting to do those things, but I'm not able to do that with you because you don't have money, how are we navigating this relationship?
Okay, so Femi Bash just posted a question. He says, "Hey Femi, welcome, welcome, welcome. I appreciate you stopping by. I quite disagree. Why the guy is not making money is the key question. What if the guy is doing his PhD or MSc full time and can't work? You must secure the bag before you find love. That's different."
Okay, but I'm sorry. When I was at university, I had my child. I was working part-time on the weekend and I was looking after my child, okay, going to university. So the fact that you're doing a PhD, you're already at a certain maturity. Does it mean that you cannot do night shift? Does it mean that you can't do 20 hours here and there? So then why, if you're doing
So how you paying for your
education, how
bills
are you
though?
paying?
Yeah, how you
How are you
paying for
paying
the
for it?
place you're renting, for instance, if you're renting, if you have a car, how you paying for the insurance,
When you finish,
because
I will tell the guy,
angle matters too.
I will tell the guy, if you're doing your PhD, that's fantastic. If you're dreaming big dreams and you're not working right now, amazing. When you start to get some bit of money, I'm not saying you need to be where you need to get to, but once you start making a little money that you can bring something to the relationship, then come back and holler at me. Until then, I'm not interested.
Yeah, because you know what, Femi, man, see, you're a man, Femi, men feel a certain type of way when they don't have money.
They do. They're
Get
so
Be-
insecure. So
yes,
insecure.
because of that hunter instinct. So let's not pretend about that, Femi. I understand your question, but let's not pretend though. That hunter side will always hunt. Always. So when you feel like, even like now you're doing your PhD, or let's say you're doing all the degrees at the same time, right? How are you, at least you were living before you met the woman, so how are you paying for the rent of the place you're staying? How are you
How are
maintaining your
you eating?
bills, right?
How are you
How are
feeding
you
yourself?
eating? How are you taking care of yourself? You're not going to be smelling. You have to wear deodorant, so you must buy deodorant. You got to look good, right? So there's an angle. You can't just say, oh, what if the man is what? If it's a different thing, if you're already married and your spouse decides, okay, I want to go back to school and further or whatever, and it's an agreement between
Absolutely.
those
And
parties.
Mom, can I just say that my
Sure.
my my ex, before we were together 11 years, at some point in our relationship, my ex decided that he wanted to go back and do a completely different degree. So he did
Mm-hmm.
computer science when he was in Ghana, and then
Mm-hmm.
he decided that actually he doesn't actually enjoy that. So he re went back to university, did 3 years here in the UK, and when he was doing that, he was working nights, and I was taking up the majority of the bills because he was paying for his degree, right?
Aha.
So it's not that, don't get me wrong, when you hear me saying, oh, I'm not going to date a guy, that's not it. The circumstance has to be making sense. I can't
Yes.
meet a guy as somebody with my own responsibilities to be joining myself with somebody that you've got no prospects. You're sitting at home doing what as an able-bodied man in this UK where jobs are so, there's so many jobs. You don't have an excuse. You can work part-time, full-time. I work in HR. If you go to your employer and say, you know what, I've gone back to study, am I able to go to part-time? They'll allow it. You're allowed to do that. So people that come with these flimsy excuses, oh, I'm doing PhD. Okay, it doesn't mean that you cannot work. Doesn't
Yeah.
mean you cannot work. So that is your choice. But then if you don't want to work, I don't understand how you're going to tell me, Femi, how you're going to date in this UK or wherever you are positively if you're not if you have no money and you're focusing on your education, so the woman is going to be coming, meeting you, carrying food to you, coming, bringing you toiletries, bathing you, putting you up in a house. What? No,
Oh my
I don't
god.
understand. I don't understand. I've done that with my ex.
No,
We
guess
went back
what
to
though?
school, and we were managing everything. And then when he qualified, he went into he became a quantity surveyor. So that's what he went into. Immediately he finished, he got a job, a very good job with a very good company, and he took over the responsibility. He picked up everything else. I didn't tell him, oh, because he's not working anymore how he used to work, I'm not gonna, I carried the one that I was supposed to do when it was necessary, because
Right.
the long-term plan made sense. I'm not gonna
Right.
do that for a guy that I'm just dating. I'm gonna start taking on your bills. Nah, no, I'm not.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And you know what? These days, people they are not waiting to suffer anymore. You people remember what happened to Yon and what happened to that Mercy Aigbe's husband, right? People will build together and then only for the man to step up and say,
No, but you
I
should
want to
build
be with.
smart. You can't put all your eggs with your man. Like, even that, I'll still build with a guy, but you build with
Mm-hmm.
sense.
You build
Have
with
your
sense.
own with sense.
Absolutely.
Because in a
Mm-hmm.
marriage, you can't restrict what you want to do in a relationship when you're together as your if your foundation, right? In a marriage, I
Mm-hmm.
can't say, oh, now I'm married, oh, maybe one day my husband will leave me, I will start doing my own thing on the side. I don't think that's right. I feel like you put in what you want to put in genuinely, but also as a woman, have your own stuff on the side, have your own money, so that even if the guy decides he wants to be doing 50-50 with your house. Okay, fine. You've already got another house that you bought yourself on the side during the marriage, or you have your savings that you're able to move on, and it's not going to really hurt you that much as if he cleared out your entire account and you're starting from zero. I feel like a lot of women, they put all their eggs on the man, or let the man
Mm-hmm.
run with everything, and they don't build with sense. That's the problem. Don't do
Yeah,
that.
that's a problem. I personally would not, because because the hunting side of a man will always, that much I know. So there's no way, even if you're doing or going to, that side will always kick in,
Yeah, and it's not
even if,
even. Yeah,
yeah,
it's true.
even if you're doing, like she said, Cynthia said, you're doing a security guard job on the side or something, it has to make sense, because you can't just, I mean, yeah, we live in a society, in a world now where, some women are okay with having, being with a man who maybe is not bringing anything, and they are called house boyfriends or whatever they call them, right? We live in a society where people do that, but hey, there are people who cannot do that, and we cannot ignore the fact that a hunter will keep hunting. It's always there. No matter how hard you try to hide it and make it feel as though, no, it's there. It's there, waiting to hunt. And if you don't let the hunter hunt, guess what? The hunter will look for something to hunt. And that's where you find, people stepping up. You say, oh, they left this woman and went and ended up with another woman. Why?
Yeah, and then
Because that,
sometimes it's because the woman is not doing anything, like,
exactly.
sometimes the woman is not doing anything. The man, he's got nothing to talk to you about. There's no interesting conversation.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing that you're able to discuss with him. So, he'll go and start looking for maybe something else outside. I'm not saying that's the reason for people going out and cheating, that's the reason, but sometimes that can contribute to it.
Absolutely.
You're
I quite.
draining, you're draining the man. You're sitting at home. He's giving you money. You're not doing anything else. He needs to go and maybe look outside for somebody that's now on his level to have intelligent conversation with,
Exactly.
mature conversation with, intellectual conversation with.
Yes, precisely. Exactly.
All you're bringing
Yeah.
to the table is what? Good looks and, I don't know, kerewa. I mean,
Okay, some people,
that can't
KY is the
sustain a
priority
man.
for them.
No. You can't get kerewa from me if you're broke. Sorry. It's
The
not gonna
juice will
happen.
not flow. The
No, at
juice, the
all. I
juice
didn't
will
want to say
flow
it's gonna be dry.
dry.
very dry. Okay,
It won't
nothing's
flow.
happening. It's not happening at all.
Yeah, no, but
So
it's true.
no,
Let's
yeah.
jokes apart. It's true. And if we have men here. Men, they're honest with themselves, and luckily we have honest men. It's true. You don't even have to be making all the money in the world, but a hunter has to hunt. Let's just put it that way. And if you want to even feel like you hunted for the prey, and you were able to successfully get the prey, and I'm sorry, that's the wrongest term to use, but that's
Mm.
that's how much I can break it down. So let's not pretend here
And
you
men
know
and men are validated by their status. So
exactly.
I feel like sometimes men think, oh, it's okay for a man not to work because women are accepted. That's because men and women want different things out of each other. I need
Yes,
my man to be a provider. I need my man to be working.
exactly.
Okay.
Same
Doesn't mean
here.
that just because I'm not working, he shouldn't work or he doesn't need to work. No, because that's what I require from my man. But
Mm-hmm.
my man, who I've spoken to like I've spoken to my partner before because we're just talking just generally, and he's like,
Mm-hmm.
listen, no matter the amount of money that you earn, you can be a millionaire, you can be a billionaire. I still want to be the one financially responsible for the household. And for me,
Absolutely.
I found that so bizarre. I'm like, babe, come on. I would want to pay this, that. He's like, listen, I don't do this Western. I'm an African man. He's like, when my parents were together, my mom used to bring the bills, give it to my dad. My dad used to pay the bills. That's what worked for them. That's how I want to run my house. That's what my partner has said. He earns a really good wage. I earn well as well. But I know that when we set up home together, he wants to be the one that will shoulder that financial responsibility. Who am I to argue?
Exactly. Let me even give you an example based.
He's happy for me to, he's like, I still want you to pursue whatever you want to pursue. Buy your
Right.
house, buy everything that you want to do your business, do everything. But in my house, because I need to be the man of my house, I need to be the
Yes.
one responsible. But he's told me that outright. So why am I going to now go and start saying, babe, I want to do 50-50. I want to do
No,
60-40.
hell no.
Come
No,
on.
no, no, no. All that 50-50s, I'm sorry. It's all like West. And, to each his own. There's
Yeah,
some
it
people
works
who
for some
50,
people,
it
but
works for
some
some
men it doesn't
people.
work for, and I'm not gonna force that on him because for me,
Exactly.
I was
No.
saying I don't really care. Like I'll pay what I can pay, you pay what you can pay. It's not a big deal. Like I'm happy to contribute. He's like,
Mm-hmm.
no, I would. He does not. He said that like he's not interested.
Exactly. So, I
He's
mean,
not interested.
actually, this brings me to a story of a friend of mine who got married, right? So she's an African American woman. She met a Nigerian guy. The Nigerian guy was driving trucks. I think he was like a delivery guy, not the main big huge trucks that delivers goods from place to place, but just the regular small. He was working for a small company. Wasn't taking much, you
Mm.
know. But she was like way up there, right? They got together and they were dating for a while, and then they got married. Now, when they got married, they did introduction. Prior to that, she would hang out with him and they would go visit some of their relatives. And she's from the south. Okay, when she got home, when she went to see her parents, when they went to visit the parents called her and advised her, regardless of how much he's making, you're going to move, because she has her own house. She
Mm.
bought her own house, living the life. Her parents told her, no matter how much he's making, you're going to move from your house into his own. Even if it's a one bedroom, it is a place that he's able to pay for. So that's where you're going to live. Right?
Mm.
That was what the
Mm.
parents. I mean, of course, they didn't move what's it called, a studio. What they
But
did was they just
he didn't ultimately. He didn't move it to her
exactly.
house.
He
Yeah.
never moved into her house. When they got married, throughout the dating period, he was actually renting a room in a house because that's where he could afford. So that's where they used to, meet and then maybe hang out and stuff like that. Now, before they got married, I think he finally moved and rented like a one bedroom or something like that. That's where they moved to before he started, getting better jobs, and then,
Mm.
adding education to education. And he's at a level where, he can comfortably take care of himself and his family. You understand? So
Mm.
it's so she said her parents told her, you never ever put a man in a position where he feels like he
Yeah.
cannot take care of you. Even if you're earning all this money, even if you can put that money aside and use it when you both need it. And if he needs the help,
Yeah, because
be,
if men are so confident with this thing of, oh, if I'm not working, the woman should date. I've seen women that are not that men are not even doing. They're not doing well financially, and will be going out for dinner, and it's the girlfriend that will pass the guy her card so that he can pay to feel like the man. Why would you need to
right.
do that? You should be able to pull out your card and pay. If your man is not gonna feel some kind of way about it, but a lot of women do that. They'll be
Yeah, a lot of
covering their man. They'll be covering their man. I mean, the shame to them.
mm-hmm,
And because a man is not earning well or doing this, they'll be giving the man their bank card so that he can pay for the dinner when they go out and all this type of stuff. Why do they
mm-hmm.
do that? Because obviously there's an insecurity there for men
Right, right,
when they're not the ones being the provider financially
right,
or whatever. So
right.
it's a normal thing. There's a reason for it because naturally men are meant to be the providers in whichever capacity you think that is, but they need to be the one to shoulder that. A lot of men are insecure when a woman earns more than them.
Exactly, exactly. You know,
They can deny it's true,
no,
and when
they
you have a
deny it is
household, yeah,
yeah.
it works with maybe Europeans. I feel like they've kind of learned how to manage it in some way because I don't think there's that pressure on men too much. But even European men, if you really look into it, they also have there's also like an emasculation of them when they stay home too long, or there's not a reason why they're staying home. If a man has been made redundant, for example, and his wife is working, he's not got a job, he's looking after the kids, he's looking after the home, that's fine. But if I don't think there's men that are saying, I'm going to leave my banking job to go and sit at home and be looking after
No,
the babies. Like, it doesn't
mm-mm,
happen like that.
mm-mm.
It doesn't happen like that,
No, it
So,
doesn't. No, it doesn't. I mean, we just have to be realistic about it because we know these things, they're not talked about much, but it's a fact. A hunter is going to hunt.
yeah.
You cannot play the role of a, when they talk about, oh, men are trying to switch the role. No, that's the reason why that conversation is going on, is because there've been situations where the men have been okay with the woman taking care of all the bills, and it has created problems. So now the men are now saying, oh no, we this and all those different pills, those pills that are being created. That's where it's
Red
coming from.
pill, blue
Yeah, because if you
Yeah.
recognize that a hunter will hunt, right? I know for as long as ever, a hunter will always hunt. You need to let him hunt. If he does not hunt, he will look for somebody to hunt. And when he
Yeah.
captures that
I would,
person, you are
yeah.
gone. It's just that simple.
And if you look at it from like a biblical context as well, for those
Hmm.
of us that are Christians here, I was listening to, I think it's Pastor K on like YouTube, one
Yeah,
of
Pastor
the,
K. I
yeah,
know Pastor K.
yeah,
Yeah,
he
the
always says,
relationship guy.
yeah,
Mhm.
exactly, the couple.
The
So he
couple.
always
Yeah,
says that when Adam was created, the first thing that Adam was given was work, because Adam was
exactly.
working and toiling and focus. He wasn't like he wasn't in relationships. But when God created Eve, he created them to go and support Adam, right? And he created the relationship. That's why women, we're more invested in relationship. Men are more moved by their work and their status and the money. So if you can't tell me that a man will want to just be sitting at home doing nothing and he's fulfilled as a man, it's not possible.
It's never possible, and
Yeah.
I find that I know. I mean, we've all been alive, and we've seen things, and we've observed things. A man has to a man has to feel that part of him, that yes, I was able to achieve this for
He has to
myself.
be useful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Otherwise, he'll start to lose. that thing about him, they'll start to lose it, and then the frustration comes in, and then he starts to take it out on those he loved the most. How many times have we seen that? It happens all the time. So if men and women tell themselves the truth, and relationships are not hard, people make it hard.
Yeah.
If you are both well, if you're interested in each other's well-being, your relationship will thrive. The only time it's not going to thrive is when you are both competing with each other and you are disconnected emotionally from each other. The man does not know how to empathize with you, and you don't give a care. You don't care about the
Mm.
other person. That's where you're gonna have problem. So I think we can do better with each other. I think there's a
Always.
lot that needs to be done. What you say?
Oh, I said always. We can always do better. Definitely.
Exactly. There's always room for improvement, and we have to keep talking and doing the best for each other and making each other better, however way we can. We don't always have to agree. Of course, there'll be disagreement here and there, but can we disagree in love and not feel like we're looking for each other's head to take off? Let's disagree in love and say, okay, I mean, I don't agree with you, but hey, that's what you want to do. I'll support you. But we're in a time now where people get very sensitive. You say something is
Oh
taken
yeah.
out of context.
Oversensitive.
you know you
Oversensitive.
you can't air your opinions without someone judging you. You can't say, hey, this is my take and this is my take, and people respect it. People will always look for ways to poke holes. People are looking at other people's Instagram pictures and thinking that that's what real life is all about. No, life is hands you literally have to dig your heels in and your hands in the dirt to get the work done. So I'd like to wrap it up here.
Thank
Cynthia,
you.
my God, you've been
Yeah.
awesome all the time. Thank you for always coming to support me. I really, really enjoy
You're
you. Honestly,
welcome.
you and Aneka, thank you
I know,
so
Neka.
much. I love you. Virtual hugs. We're gonna do this again. I think we're gonna have village meeting tomorrow.
Oh,
And
nice. Are you doing the early one?
yeah, I think I'm gonna schedule it for like 10:45 a.m.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, so we can at least address some of our community concerns and throw in some other fun stuff that you guys want to talk
Definitely.
about. So it's open. So if you have anything you want us to address tomorrow, let me just throw it out there. Bring it on tomorrow at 10:45. I'm going to send the invite out and then we can address it. So tomorrow is for our village people. So bring your palm wine, your pepper soup, your nkwobi, your pounded yam.
Do you know I went to a wedding? It was my friend's wedding on Saturday, and there was actually that. I had I can't eat in Kwabi. No, I don't like. I mean, in Nigeria, do you have a term called nyama nyama?
What's that?
It's
What's in it?
like it means like all the entrails and all the funny
Yes.
jiggly
Oh,
jiggly.
guang. Where I come
No,
from, it's called gongo. I love it, man.
nah,
I've not had it
nah.
in a
It's
while. The
that is
entrails.
for me is a
Mhm.
massive. Anything that is squidgy, the texture is funny. I'm not there. So that's the problem in when you do Ugandan and Nigeria is like, what are we gonna eat?
Yes.
Because nah. So yeah, so I'll bring my chicken and my rice.
Okay. Bring your fancy food. Those of us that grew up in the village, will bring our
Yeah.
village
Mm-mm,
entrails,
mm-mm.
roasted yam and oil with pepper on the side, pepper sauce, everything.
I
So
love
thank
pepe, but
you.
just nothing else. Yeah. Thank
You
you,
like
Oma, yeah, for
pepper?
the time. Yeah.
You said you like pepper?
I do. Yes.
Oh
Very
yeah,
spicy.
pepper is life.
It's
Oh,
like
oh man,
definitely.
it will clear your sinuses, especially in the cold. Mm-mm. I
I
like
love it.
pepper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but thank you so much,
You're
Cynthia. I'll
welcome.
see you tomorrow. But thank you.
Yeah.
I really appreciate your input. Thank you for being so vulnerable with us. Thank you for
You're
sharing that
welcome.
part of you with us. I
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate it, and I know that everybody else did enjoy you, and they're all encouraging you to write a book. I'll be looking forward
Oh,
to reading that
God.
book because I know it's going to be filled with entertainment.
I
That will be my
know.
meals and
Maybe
bone.
maybe one day will be my little legacy to leave for the grandkids.
I know, right? That would be a good one. Absolutely. Thank
Have
you
a
for
good night.
co-hosting with me. Good
You're
night, love.
welcome. Good night.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye. Love you. Guys, baby girls, about to wrap it up. Mm? Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. Buki Ade, thank you so much. Neka, my sister. Neka, my beautiful sister. Hey, Neka skin popping. You need to give us secret of this your skincare routine. Biko no. Don't leave us in the dark. Cool, Mama. It was so great to see you. It's been a while. Nikki May, I'm so sorry. Oh, I hope you take care of yourself, Nikki May. And I hope you feel much better. Speedy recovery, okay? Sending you all the love, the hugs, and all the light you need to get better. Look forward to seeing you soon again. Thank you. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Fresh Femi Bash. Thank you very much. Thank you, Cool Mama. Long time, oh, my sister. It's good to see you. Tiki Shack. Thank you, Tiki Shack. Thank you, Marriott. Marriott dropped one comment and ran away. Buki Ade, Eni Ade, thank you so much. Mirabelle, my darling, has gone to bed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate you guys. Honestly, I don't take you guys for granted. Thank you for your consistent support. Fab Stolly, thank you. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. And Celine went to bed early, so I guess I will see her tomorrow. Highly favored. Thank you so much for joining me. I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful night. It can only get better. We can only do better by ourselves, and try to build healthier relationships and healthier, so we can have healthier kids. I beg, let's do this. I appreciate you all. I love you all. And I will see you guys tomorrow, hopefully. If you have not yet subscribed, because subscribe, or you push get me to 2,000 now. Help me move the ministry forward. Thank you so much. And thanks for liking. I appreciate you guys. Love you all. Bye. Bye.